Catch you later.
Don't get sick.
Yo.
You went live already?
Yeah, he just went live, baby. Graph champs, baby. Let's see what it is, baby.
I see your comments.
Yeah, now did you see? They're just telling people that I'm live right now. Boom.
Who's the first one?
My Butcher Boy family.
Oh, first one.
That's right, baby. Love
Yeah.
y'all. For real. Lifetime guarantee, baby.
It's a high life hat?
You know what I'm saying, son? Yo, what's good, Sax? Yo, what it is, Dreads? Salute. My brother, Diablo, the authority, salute. You heard? Salute, baby. Graph Champs, episode number 11, baby. We're entering the galaxy of Queens for the first time on the show. Yeah, KED for life. You heard? Here we go, baby. Let everybody jump on. I got a super special show. You already know we got the F.T.R crew, baby. / GIZ, VENA, and GERMZ. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody. Let the numbers go up real quick. I want to say some shit while the numbers is going up. I want to say something, yo, salute, reps. I've been doing this shit. Yo, what it is, Chester, salute. I've been doing this shit, man, because I want to spread the culture, because I love the culture of graffiti so much, you heard? And like I'm trying to educate people and shit at the same time, and add on. So we need to get these numbers up. Niggas need to spread the word. Niggas need to share the live, because like if I'm doing these lives, I'm spending money on this shit, time, all types of shit. Like yo, salute to everybody that's tuning in. Y'all niggas gotta share this shit, and because like if it's under a certain amount of viewers and shit, like y'all want me to keep going, right? Like I got crazy shows lined up for y'all niggas. Y'all niggas better share the live. Y'all niggas better fucking tell a friend to tell a friend.
Catching a body outside?
That's fucking good though, bro. I feel like slapping that nigga, bro. Yeah, we gotta get these numbers up, man. This is too much classic, legendary shit happening. You heard? Straight like that. Yo, salute Roach, RGN in the building. You heard? That's what it is. Yeah, man. We entering the galaxy of Queens, my nigga. As a matter of fact, I gotta throw on my tune. You heard? Oh shit. Salute my brother F Boom. Salute my brother F Boom for producing the intro, and my brother fucking Diablo for doing the song. You heard? Graph Champs. You heard? Why that keeps happening? What the fuck, bro? Oh my god, bro. I hope it's not one of those fucking days, bro. Yo, salute to everybody tuned in. You heard? I'm letting the numbers go up for another couple of minutes, and then with no further ado, I'm gonna bring up the squad.
They in there too.
They in there, yeah, they in the building, bro. What the fuck is going on with my shit? Word. Graph Champs, baby, the galaxy of Queens. Yeah. God of rap. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. F-Boom Media, baby. Yes, sir. Now, without further ado, yo, first I want to shout out Supreme Clientele Radio app, man. Download that shit. You can see all the past episodes of Graph Champs on there. The link is bit.ly/Graph Champs. You heard? And I want to shout out my Stray 16 family, always the Butcher Boys podcast. Subscribe to that. Go to YouTube, the Butcher Boys. You know what I'm saying? Graph Cinema, Graph Champs, Graph everything. You heard? Graph Life, my nigga. Fuck all y'all haters, man. You heard? All right, without further ado, here we go, baby. You see. JN, the Phantasm, and what is you know where you at? Let's see, baby. Here we go, right there. Boom. Invite. I just invited. I'm throwing the invite, baby. Here we go. Graph Champs, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Yeah. This is the legendary F.T.R. crew, bro. Thank you guys for coming on, bro. I want to just say before anything, I salute y'all. Y'all fucking, I'm one of y'all biggest fans, and I had to give you y'all flowers while y'all here for the contributions that y'all have made to this culture that we live. You heard? I have no barbarians on here, and this is the first time I did Queens. So to have you guys represent Queens first is personal for me, bro. I love you guys. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
My man.
So I'm gonna start off first with the Prez / the General himself. You know, he's in the bottom right corner of my screen. I guess he's in the bottom right corner of everybody's screen, okay? So / bro, you're such a fucking legendary icon from the 90s era. Like, I know personally that you don't know how much of an impact you have made because you're you. You don't know how people view you. And me as a fan, as an outsider, it's my fucking duty to tell you that this is what they do when you walk by. You heard? When you walk by, they're like, yo, that was / you know what I'm saying? So the fans want to know. We're gonna start from the beginning. I want to know. We want to know. How did you get into graffiti?
What's up, Ricky? Long time, man. Long time.
Salute, my brother.
I think I've known you for 30 years now.
Yeah, yeah. I was telling you, me, Leo, you know, Rav, we was all talking about it. I was like, yo, to have these guys bless my fucking show is just so, it's personal for me. Because like I said, we know each other for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all niggas.
I tell you, I've been asked to be on some interviews, podcasts, and the like in the past. And I typically decline, you know, no beef towards anybody. But for this one, I said, all right, I got to represent for my man. He's been there for us for years. So if I'm going to do it, let me just do it for him.
Bro, it's an honor, bro. It's an honor to have you, bro. This is fucking legendary. I'm telling you. So what got you into graffiti / I'm so fucking anxious to find out.
Well, I thought it was a good way to pick up chicks if I wrote on their house. You know, it was a good way to break the ice and exchange numbers. You know. Nah, but in all seriousness, I guess so. When I started paying attention to graffiti back in the mid '80s, you know, grew up in the Ridgewood, Glendale area. You know, we had a lot of graph around us, but I also went to school in Corona at junior high, so there was a lot of graph in that neck of the woods, and it certainly intrigued me. And then I guess in that era, every single person had a tag. I mean, unless you didn't leave your house, you were associated with some type of crew and you had a tag. Whether you did something with it or not, you know, that's a different story. So I guess just product of the environment, as they would say, things around me through osmosis, and just, you know, wanting to kill rough time, as the crew says, got out there, started doing some things, and like many vices, it has that addictive element. And I was absolutely terrible, and Venna can definitely attest to that. The first couple of years, I was certainly the anchor if it came to anything aesthetically. So then the personal challenge to say, okay, I don't want to suck anymore, so let me just keep doing this more and more. But anyway, so the initial influence was just the times in the late 80s and what was going on, and I guess an act of rebellion and fuck you society type of shit got me into it.
So how did you get the tag /? Because that's all right, this is the thing. I always ask. I like picking graffiti writers' brains, so I'd be like, "Give me the list of the dopest tags ever," and slash is always in there. Slash. And if you didn't know, you know Ravioli, my boy Rav. His first tag ever was Slasher.
Uh-oh. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have words with Mr. Skinny.
You got you, man. He's gonna come through.
1 and 2.
You know, I'm not exactly sure. I went through a couple different tags, like most people do in the beginning. I wrote my fucking name on the wall, thinking like, "Yeah, let me get away with that." And then I wrote Sob, S-O-B, the son of a bitch. But there was another Sob that was bombing with Set and Cast and some cats in the adjacent neighborhood. So I wrote Sob 2 for like a month, and my boy Willie's like, "That's terrible. Change your tag." And so one dude had called me the Slasher one time when I used to play a lot of hockey, and when I get into fights, I'd cut people's eyes, and they said I slashed them. So I said, all right, that sticks. I didn't like Guns N' Roses. I was more into Slayer at the time, so it had nothing to do with the affiliation there. So that's how I guessed the tag.
All right. So now you got Slash. When did you like one day say, you know what, I'm taking this serious, or from the beginning you took it serious? Because, you know, like you said, everybody had a tag. They catch tags in their school, on their block, and they never go farther than that.
Yeah, so on my 16th birthday, the Interborough was closed off. Jackie Robinson, as it's known now, was closed off at the time. And we were having a keg party up there. And I promised my girlfriend at the time, I said, I hit 16, I'm going to stop writing. I promised you, no problem, it's done. So and I guess at that point, I sort of liked it more than I thought I was going to like it. And, you know, nobody goes into it with the milestones. Okay, let me write to this point. The momentum of itself takes on. But when Venna and SN and the early guys and we started branching out of the neighborhood, left the zip code for once, and exploring other areas, I guess the element of spreading out became contagious as well. So that's an infinite mindset. So at that point, we wanted to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I still wanted to have a balance between what I was doing necessarily in the bombing front, as well as trying to catch up with Germs and Echo and GIZ and those cats with the piecing front. So one of my early missions was to have some type of ongoing quality in both areas. So probably like in '92, I said, all right, I like this a lot. I'm gonna go rack a lot of fucking paint, do some sketches, and practice, and get out there.
So I'm glad you practice, because you're widely known too as most of us have like two throwies, the one we started with, and then it morphs into whatever we are today or whatever. So you're the same. You had the S that was like a shark's fin top.
Yeah.
That S was phenomenal. Fire. Then out of nowhere, this fucking guy comes up with the SH that's even more fire. How the fuck, how did that come about? Like the style, like you said, practicing. How did your style come about?
So I guess style, until you're satisfied, is pretty malleable in that you're just looking for different things to keep doing. And I'm always a curious cat to try different things. And I was always comfortable with being uncomfortable, of saying, all right, let me just fucking hit the restart button. When I did SHs early, because / 5-letter fucking tag took a long time if you're on fucking Knickerbocker Myrtle and you're trying to do a fucking fill-in, and Transit's telling you to get the fuck in the car. So I switched to just doing the 2 letters, and I liked that guy Ghost H for a little bit, and I said, oh, let me do that. And other people like, that's fucking H is taken. I was like, all right, let me just do S's. That's quick. I can do fucking a lot of them. And then with the S's, there were other cats like Spec from Queens doing S's, and a couple other S's, and I said, all right, let me go back to SHs, even though Shone and Touche were doing their thing. I said, all right, and Satch 1 from RTW, I said, let me switch it so the style is different. And I stretched out the left and I stretched out the right. And that one that I guess I came up in '93 ended up being the one I stuck with for a while. Straight letters, I would continue to go through different machinations, but the pointy SH, as it's known, first arose in like '93.
Phenomenal. Both throwies, phenomenal. Them shits could go against anybody's shit. That's straight up. But so how did the FTR come about? How did you come up with FTR?
So funny story with that. So the original crew that the guys and I had in my neck of the woods was called TZO, which was the Zooted Ones. Now, mind you, I didn't fucking smoke weed at the time. I developed many vices later on. So people like, oh, Zooted Ones, you guys get down with smoke. I was like, no, not really. I'll drink fucking King Cobra and fucking Old English, you know, but no, I don't really smoke. It was an old school crew that was passed on to us by one of our boys' sister's boyfriend or something. And then I wanted to get down my man SN down with the crew. He was my partner like in early 90 and 91. We were doing a lot of shit relative at the time. And the president TZO had old school beef with SN. SN threw crayons at his mom, who's the crossing guard. He's like, he's not fucking getting down the crew. He's like, get the fuck out of here. He's fucking writing all over the place. He's getting down. And so he's like, nah, the fucking dude's weird. He's not down with the fucking crew. So I'm in our makeshift barbershop. My boy Cease and Sav would give haircuts on Friday night. And I was like, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. Let's come up with our own shit. The fucking 4 S's of us. And so we're going through like different things and wanted to have something that sounded, you know, I guess appropriate for how we were feeling. Like, all right, fuck everybody. You know, we love Fuck You All, which is FYA was a big crew and influence around our neck of the woods. So we liked the statement that had. And then eventually we said, all right, fuck the rest. And I remember that night we said, all right, let's put our stamp on everything in the neighborhood. And we fucking, you know, caught tags on top of without ragging them, but on top of everybody else that had been part of the old crew just to make a statement. So because SN's fucking weird, by default, we created a crew.
So what year was that?
That's early 91 or yeah, probably like 91. And then our crew of 4, my boy Tef, rest in peace, we went to junior high together. And we're playing basketball against each other one time in the CYO league, and I see him on the foul line. He's like, yo, what's going on? I said, what's up, Chris? He goes, you right? I was like, yeah, after I get this rebound, we'll talk about this. Hold on a second. So after the game, he's like, yo, I'm writing graffiti. I heard you write graffiti. I was like, yeah, I do some shit. He's like, want to go bomb or meet my boys? So his boys were Venna and Neva and the crew from the other side of the neighborhood. And quickly 4 became 8, 8 became 16, became 32, became 64, became 128, and whatever the crew ended up becoming. But that was the initial genesis.
Wow. So at that time when you made up the crew, like who was out there like killing shit that you seen that inspired you?
Many. You know, at that time we were in a perfect equilibrium of graph where you had still a little bit of train bomb going on. A lot of the clean trains, the shit at on certain lines. Train stations were fucking smashed. The highways were at their fucking apex, and the streets. The original street bombers of Jaws, Josh, Easy, which was Vipa, Bester, which was just the black tags on the walls. TKA, you guys, Skevs, Back, Cost, JD, they started doing more streets. Clark and Webb and all those cats were doing streets. The One Crew, RFC were doing streets. The KGB were doing streets. MSS, a lot of Brooklyn shit, Mist and F-Man and Stacks. They were all doing streets at the time. And in our neck of the woods with FYA, Deck and Dak and Audi and them from Brooklyn, Nash. So I guess all those things around us were stimulating us to fucking, we went from doing tags to doing throwies. They have to do a fucking fill-in to get you a fucking spot on the wall. And back then, kids these days, or kids or whatever, fucking people younger than my old ass, they could bomb in like a week or two and really do some fucking damage. And no doubt, they do their thing. But what I think they dismiss is there's not many spots to hit. Back then, you would take a 2-week tour on one line and then maybe you would stand out if you didn't get fucking annihilated and fucking ragged, either incidentally or fucking with intent. So there were just so many things to fucking ride on in 92. I remember Venna and fucking Germs, doing the Bell Parkway. they were systematically hitting in between the exit. But it took like 2 weeks just to make some fucking damage on 4 or 5 fucking stops. So I don't know. Anyway, back to the original question. A lot of influences back then, a lot of things to compete with, and a lot of ways to raise the bar, you know, with what was going on.
Definitely. I personally think, you know, I missed the train era. I just missed it by this much. And I just fucking think, even though I wasn't in the train era, that nothing could replace the 90s, bro. There was so much competition, so much street bombing. It was so much crews that was doing damage with dope styles, big fillings. You know, it was like the summer squash yellow solids, the double outlines, the like SN, and y'all was all catching the spots, the highway spots, the rooftops, and y'all would do back-to-back fillings. It was fucking awesome, bro. Like that. If we could bottle that shit up and sell it, we'd be billionaires, bro.
Oh, I forgot to mention one of the fun things from the beginning, and what helped us sustain. We liked fucking ultra violence. You know, that was certainly a good part of it. You know, going where you didn't know, you go into a neighborhood that you know you had fucking beef. You know, yeah, you don't want to get fucking stopped by the cops, but you're also fucking, you don't want to get fucking wrecked in a minute by fucking 10 dudes who just fucking either fuck their girl or diss the shit the week before. So that fucking, there was a fucking high off of that. And that's,
yes.
You weren't just in the streets, in any club or the bars or where you hung out. It was just, you had to have like a heightened fucking state to, you know, to just fucking survive during those times, which, you know, you get a fucking good stimulus from.
Yeah, so you said they came through the Ville.
They came to Brownsville to hit my block.
Yo, my man Joe 21, he from Brownsville. He said y'all niggas came through his block.
They hit a hot block. Like,
he said you
get shot at.
He said you hit a very hot block where niggas get shot up at.
I remember one time in Brownsville, I'm there with VENA, Nat, and Noxa. And they take me down there, you know, I think we walked Pennsylvania and then we made the fucking left. And we're catching like virgin territory. There wasn't much graph over here. And I was like, yo, we're in the deep down part of fucking Brooklyn. Why is there no graph over here? I was like, is there a fucking precinct? Now I'm asking all these qualifying fucking questions. They're all fucking stoned out. I just want to make sure I know the area. Like, nah, it's just a lot of bad activity on this block. What the fuck we doing here? I don't want to fucking get shot fucking riding. And they're like, you want to leave? I was like, no, we're fucking here already, so I might as well fucking do something. So, sorry for riding in the fucking building.
No. It's appreciated. Fuck apologies. All right, so the 90s is bubbling. There's so much competition, but your crew found just a unique way to stand out, bro, with all the different spots. And then y'all niggas was in Videograph and shit like that. Like I would watch your part. I would just skip everything and go to your part and keep rewinding and seeing you and GIZ and Half catching tags and this person and that person. And I would just keep on rewinding it because, you know, these are my niggas. So I'm like, bro, and shit. How was that experience? Like, how did you link to do that?
So a couple years before that, and GERMZ and fucking Venna remember, we were filmed for Videograph at Lane doing pieces, and we were all fucking hyped up, and it never fucking made it, I guess, past the fucking edit review, which I'm fucking happy because it was my shit was right. GERMZ came out of the fucking GERMZ came out of the womb fucking piecing well. And Venna caught up pretty quick, but I was wretched. So anyway, so I was happy that it didn't make it. And then I guess when we were making some noise out there, Carl and fucking Nick reached out to us and they said, "Oh, we want to have you guys in fucking Videograph." I was like, "Well, you fucking stubbed me 2 years ago. I want my fucking tape back." But anyway, I was like, "All right, listen, we'll do it, but on one condition." And they're like, "Oh, we'll protect your faces." I don't give a fucking shit about that. I said, we are not doing the fucking back alley of some fucking lost street in Long Island City where the fucking only the Teamsters are gonna see. I said, we're gonna fucking bomb. So don't fucking say anything about, you know, oh, I don't know about this block or this time. We're gonna bomb. Don't get in the way. Just film away. You know, this is like 94, so we don't want to waste a fucking single can on something that was only going to be fucking. I didn't have fucking too much confidence that he was going to fucking, you know, make it into the film. So I wanted to make sure I'm not wasting a fucking night or the paint. So we had some fun, and that night there was supposed to be some other people with us, but they got fucking bagged the night before. Not graph-wise, doing some stupid shit. So they didn't make it, and my boy Half came in. He was like the fucking substitute player for somebody. He's like, I'll fucking rock. I was like, don't fucking do no fillings, though. Please, no fillings. Just fucking do some tags. Love your big tags, Half. And then then I did it again with Webb and Nat, where we almost got fucking chased doing the fucking Lily spot. Because they're all fucking people lined up in Lily's waiting for their fucking, their turn at you-know-what. And they're like, don't do it. I was like, I'm fucking doing this spot, man. This is a fucking good spot. And, they think I'm like the substitute dealer for the night. All these guys are coming up to, yo, you guys, I was like, yo, I'm here for something else. I'm part of the fucking graph unit. Anyway, so that's how we did Videograph and shit.
Yeah, I remember the Lily spot. You did the fill. I think Webb did a fill or whatever. And Nat and shit. And Brooklyn is my backyard, you know what I'm saying? So from end to end, Brooklyn, all back and forth. I've been through every fucking avenue, everywhere, you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I ever bombed, all Brooklyn. So every time I would, I pride myself on that because not a lot of writers go through all the fucking crazy areas. They go through the main shit that everybody bombs. I'm a street killer. I go through the fucking grit. I go everywhere, and I see everything. And when I see y'all niggas up in the hoods, yo, I just be, my cheeks be hurting because I'm like, look at these niggas, son. There's niggas out here scared in their own hood to go down these blocks, and these niggas is smashing these crazy spots. Yo, I was just fucking loving it. Let me ask you this question. Just now in this time, looking back at what y'all did, are you fucking proud of your crew as a whole? Because individually everyone has their own separate name style that is incredible, and they all fucking put in work, whether y'all was together or apart, every single one of them.
Well, what I'll tell you is you definitely had a fucking tag in every fucking nook and cranny of that neck of the woods, and props for that. We would have tour guides when it comes to different fucking parts of Brooklyn, not necessarily what to avoid as far as activity and shit, but where to get the most impact. Like my man Theme, when it came down to Greenpoint, Ash would take us around the fucking South Side. KD from Kings Highway, McDonald Avenue introduced us because our side of the fucking world didn't go to that side, until like late 94. So we would have ambassadors that would help us. All right, these are the spots to fucking hit. You get a lot of activity and shit, or recon. But as far as the pride in things, what I guess I respect to a certain manner, even though we don't have, I guess, the top graph writers of all time, whatever. But there's never been a year or a month where nobody was inactive. Every single year, somebody says, fuck this shit. I'm dusting off the fucking paint, and I'm doing some shit. We got some steady cats like A1s who I don't think he's ever fucking taken a fucking, vacation from graph. DG was a fucking lunatic up until his last fucking dying moment and shit. Venna and JC3 fucking realizing their fucking youth. Germs has invited to one fucking piece in 2013. It's been like Gilligan's Island ever since. Dude literally has more pieces than fucking guys that went all city had fill-ins.
Yeah, a lot more.
Gizmo smells fucking flat black. He fucking turns into a fucking graphic villain again. So, this poet and, there's just so many Cease and Pace and fucking so many guys like in the core of the crew, as well as, some on the fringe. Sav, who I think caught 3 tags in the 90s, decides in fucking 2012, I'm going to do this a fucking lot. So I guess the longevity or the consistency that somebody from the crew has represented, but also to that end, not a day goes by where VE isn't hooked up somewhere in some fucking manner, whether it's in a piece, whether it's in in an alley, whether it's in a fucking, my boys that work unions, they'll fucking put his name on sheetrock and shit, or I'll do it on fucking work, So we keep those guys that are no longer with us alive in some type of fashion. So that I would say I probably have the most respect and pride for.
Yo, just all the names that you mentioned and all the things that y'all all have accomplished together and apart. Yo, it would be a crazy documentary, bro. That would be so fucking retarded, bro. I'll be the first one. I'll buy 5 copies, my nigga, because that I want to see that.
It won't happen because inside the fucking crew, we got so much fucking drama. It'll just be a big fucking run. We'll fucking start fighting like we're on drinking Cisco's again. You know, I don't know. We'd have to have it really organized, and people have to fucking take some. We fucking linked onto that.
Yo, Smash, I gotta ask you this, bro, because you're one of them top-notch niggas, bro. Who's your top 5 favorite writers of all time?
Did you lose my video?
Nah, I could see you. Could you hear me?
Okay, hold on. I can't see. Yeah, I could hear you.
All right.
Top 5 of all time?
Yikes.
Your favorite.
Oh shit. Okay, so don't judge me on the variety. So I guess one of the top people at the list was Deck FYA. You know, that dude just knew how to fucking do it loud and proud and, not give a fuck. And I think he's underrated as well in the grand scheme of things. And then after that, Serve from TAT, FBA, I used to stare at his shit in Lane and like, oh, this fucking dude's cheating. You got the code or something. That's fucking not right. So and then Ghost, of course, which I guess that he's included in everybody's list, so I guess I get 6 because let's say Ghost is a default for everybody. And early on, GIZ MC and Germs and Venna know this because I love GIZ MC shit. I mean, he's certainly not going to be fucking put up in some stylistic Hall of Fame, no disrespect, but he was just on a bridge. I'm going out there doing my fucking just shit all over the place. I respect that.
He's underrated.
So, Peak's up there. Peak from Vic Crew and TPA. He's another one that just anything in Graph from tag to throwy to fill into blockbuster to piece he could do. Check all the fucking boxes.
Yep. You got one more.
One more. And I guess I'm gonna give it to Saint. Just obnoxious, great tag. The FS was fucking phenomenal. The shit I would see on the highways, I thought as like a kid, I was like, what are they stopping the highways? How are they fucking doing this shit? So, I guess that's my 5.
I got one last question for you, bro, because like I said, your throwy is up there, like it could compete with anybody's. Give me your top 5 throwies of all time.
Let's see. KP, WR Crew.
Oh, baby.
Hayes.
Hayes.
Yeah, his short throwy. The Ghost GH is iconic, like a fucking Nike symbol, so I can't put that one. His old school toilet bowls from fucking Trap, which I bust his fucking balls about every fucking single time. Just that he thought it was okay to go out there and put these fragmented fucking toilet bowls, and then somehow they morphed into these friendlier tees. I'll give him that one. And then Audi. Audi's fucking his A's by themselves were awesome and had so many applications. But then when he would do a full Audi. And some of the spots he did them on the J and the L and stuff were mid. I'm probably missing some people, so forgive me, but I guess those are the top 5 off the top of my head.
Yo, phenomenal list. KP is his throwy. He had a throwy in the corner of my block when I was a little kid, and I used to walk past that shit going to school every day, and that K is just unmatched, bro. It's retarded.
Slept on.
Super slept on. All right, so let me ask you this real quick. What do you think about the graffiti now? Do you look at graffiti? Do you see anybody getting up?
I mean, listen, I'm always looking at it. You can't fucking turn that shit off. The same way I may be married, I still look at other shit too. I'm not gonna fucking jump out of the fucking car or start talking to fucking girl. But yes, I'm always looking at it, and it's tough. I don't want to sound obnoxious, but some of the shit is just like white noise, and it's just, it may not be my flavor, You know, it may be good in some fashion, like with music. You know, there's some music from today, like I see my son, he's bopping to it, but to me, it ain't Eric B, so I ain't fucking listening to it. So with Graph is the same way too. It may be in front of my face, but it's not really capturing me. I like some of the guys that pay homage to the way that it was originally done, and that they, you know, they'll still give it their flavor from today. You know, you can see the evolution, but it still has the elements of the past. That dude Blake, for example, or Hound, you know, I like the way they go about their business, and stylistically, as well as the way that they just pronounce the spot. You know, they fucking did the spot. And and I give it to people like Flash, who, you know, they're going high. You know, it reminds me when VE figured out I could take a fucking ladder on the 7 line and it's okay. You know, they didn't have the fucking, I think you guys call it like jetpacks. They actually had to go on the fucking trains with these fucking ladders and take multiple trains to get to these fucking spots with these ladders. And curious to what people are thinking they were fucking doing at 3 in the morning. Anyway, so the people that take it higher, the people that fucking spread it out, you know, that's the shit that I like.
Bro, there's just a handful of niggas to me too that's doing it, and you hit them on the head too. Fucking I firmly believe that our era of graffiti had to come back a few times in the last couple of decades to save graffiti because it was shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think, yeah, when SN came back and did his little run, you know, he killed shit real quick.
So with fucking SN, the dude, I thought he was in witness protection, and that's like my fucking boy. And we would call each other like maybe once or twice a year, but I literally thought he was like in my blue heaven. And next thing I know, I see all these fucking fillings. And I call him up. I was like, yo, bro, you going out there? Yeah, that wasn't me. Like, get the fuck out of here. I know it was fucking you. He's like, no, bro, it wasn't me. I was like, you're not on fucking tape. I know it was fucking you. Is everything going on all right in your life that you're coming out with this fucking blitz? But anyway, yeah, so I am glad to see that sometimes the bat signal goes up and some of the old school crew fucking says, all right, let's go break night and fucking show these kids what it's about.
Word. Fucking I want to get to the other guys too and shit, but it's just so fucking great to talk to you and even see you, bro. And you know, through all these tough times that's going on right now, you know, God bless you and your family and everything. Man. And you know, thank you, bro. I can't thank you enough, bro, for real.
My pleasure, man.
You know, I love you, bro. You've always been like this. You always been a stand-up nigga, bro. I got your back 1,000,000%. Anything, and I fucking bless the fucking ground you walk on, my brother.
Thanks, Ricky. Appreciate you, brother.
Love, my nigga Venna. I'm gonna go to Venna because Venna, when Slash was talking about style and placement and highway, while he's saying this, I'm just seeing Venna feelings just flashing all in my fucking head, bro. And the tag Venna alone, that's fucking fire. You know, that could compete with Slash.
I don't know about that, but listen.
That could compete with Slash. So I want to start from the beginning too. What got you into graffiti?
To be honest with you, nothing single-handedly. I never remember a time not peeping grass. You know what I mean? Like, it was always there. My aunt lived on Madison between Seneca and Fresh Pond, her, little railroad apartment. Looking out the window, you were right there at the L. Everything on the street I always looked at. I was lucky, he brought Slash brought up Deck and them. I lived like 100 feet from Drum Park when I was growing up. That's where that whole crew ran. Deck, fucking Meg, Ash, DG, the whole Dean, the whole crew. So, that was my locally. That's what I looked up to. I was like, yo, these guys are killing it. When you're like 9 and you see fill-ins with highlights in the street, you think that's a peak. At least I did. Deck fucking murdered shit and, just murdered it. He had blends, fucking highlights, and then DG was hitting the streets like that. So, those were my big influences, to be honest with you. But nothing independently. I never had a big brother or a cousin or anything like that. But, yeah, and it's just, again, I don't want to repeat everything Slash said. We were in, the trains were over, but we were the beginning of the streets where every motherfucker, even the nerds you knew in your class, had fucking tags. They may not ever done anything but a bathroom tag with an El Marco, but they had fucking tags. So, you know, you woke up one day, you know, Slash said it. He was on one side of the neighborhood. You had me, SZ, who turned into Seno, Tef, and we were skating. Then we hooked up with JC3. And then, you know, one day, instead of changing your tags every fucking week, I had something different before then. I couldn't even tell you what the fuck I wrote. All types of fucking shit. And then one day we decided to go out there and do it, and we did it.
And how did you get the tag Venna?
I wish there was a story. There wasn't. I just trial and error. It fucking wrote that shit one day, fucking with letters, and it stuck. So no real story to it. I wish I had a meaning for it, but I don't.
So what year was that when you got Venna?
89.
89. That's the golden year where everybody was starting to flourish. For 88, 89. Woo!
Oh yeah, you know, it was the transition from guys that left the trains and transitioned into the streets. And then I don't want to collectively throw us under one umbrella, but then there was us. And I don't mean just F.T.R. I mean your crew, everybody that we missed out on the trains. We were too young. It was always the street stuff. It was always the highways. It was always concrete. This, you know, we may have snuck in some clean trains and some freights, but it was concrete.
Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. So now you got the tag Venna and you're going and you're taking it serious from the beginning?
Pretty close to the beginning. You know what I mean? Again, I had a hodgepodge of bullshit tags. I probably fucked around with Venna for a few months. And then again it was me, Tef, and really JC3. And we were just starting to explore, leave the neighborhood, leave doing, you know, where you could walk to. You either had to get on a train or, you know, hitch a ride to, and then we hooked up with Slash, you know, the other half of the neighborhood, and then things just exploded. It was the time. It was you're either gonna do something with it, or you're gonna be one of those dickheads catching tags in your high school bathroom.
How did you link up? How did you link up with Slash?
My boy Tef knew him through sports, and for Tef here is a shot of Jaeger. Saving that for him. That's our boy. A whole lot of other people we lost, but you can't sit here and talk about the start of F.T.R. without him. And you got to do a shot for that crazy bastard.
So all right. So now you're rocking with Slash. Now is when you link up with Slash, is F.T.R. is already formed?
Yeah, he kind of already had it going on. It was, you know, things could have went a whole couple of different turns. Me and Tef had a little thing called DTD, Down to Destroy. We were also with JC3 and his brother's Meg, so we were linked up with FYA and them. So I mean, it could have turned into DTD or FYA, but listen, FYA was still they weren't really super active at the time, but they weren't just going to have us go up to Slash and the rest of the crew throw everybody down. So we talked. It was like UNSN got F.T.R., me and Tef got DTD, and F.T.R. just sounded better, and we just went that route. But I mean, if we didn't meet Slash, to be honest with you, me, JC3, you know, Smash Brother #1, and Tef, we probably would have carried the FYA torch because them niggas did their shit back in the day. They were ruthless. They crushed some shit. They were old school, you know, mid-'80s motherfuckers. If they weren't out writing, they were selling. If they weren't selling, they were robbing fucking stores, you know, in cars. They were old school. Yeah, bro.
Deck, bro. Watch out. Deck is gonna be on Graph Traps. You're gonna see. Watch. But he's a super big. I agree with Slash when he said he's underrated, bro. Deck is like
huge underrated. The fact that there's other decks out there and those motherfuckers did their thing too, but yo, Deck crushed shit in his time, and he had style. Like, you know, he was a guy, man.
Yeah, bro. He had the throwies right under on the trains, the train stations, everything, bro. I used to be like, yo, I want to meet this nigga. Yo, I was a little kid. I used to be like, who's Deck, bro? I think I even asked my mother one time, who's that? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it was mad crazy. Said Deck, KP. There was a lot of people. KA is one of my big influences too, coming up in Bushwick. KA, TKK. He was like the all-American nigga. He could do everything. Play basketball, football, baseball. He was fucking niggas up. He was writing graffiti. He had all the bitches. He was one of them niggas. You know what I'm saying? So you and JC3, y'all fucking was just ripping mad shit like freight, everything. Like I was seeing feelings everywhere. Like yo, highways was so dope, bro. Like I hit a couple of highways here and there, you know, just because we was there, but that wasn't like my specialty or whatever. But y'all niggas, bro, feelings on highways. I used to see MedStar on highways, Fib, of course. Like
yes. Med.
Yes, MedStar. Why was highways your favorite thing? Basically, that's what I'm trying to ask you.
Yeah, you know what? Yes and no. I looked at highways. You know, they weren't as adventurous. The street, like you guys all talked about before, the street was the whole adventure. Because, you know, we're talking early 90s. It wasn't just graffiti. There was packs of motherfuckers running around stealing hats and jackets. You could get into shit. It didn't matter that you were right. Every motherfucking, it may not be a graffiti crew. There was just packs of motherfuckers walking around back then. So the streets to me were more fun. But my mentality back then were the highways were the replacement for the trains, because for every fucking filling you did on the street, you had X amount of cars. On the highway, you multiply that by 100, and it's just that many more people that were going to see it. So I just thought the highways were a better spot to hit.
So, do you have any favorite bombs? Can you tell me a crazy bombing story? You ever got chased on the highway?
Yeah, but you know what? The highways were easy, man. Them cops pull over, you jump over to the oncoming traffic and run towards it. They didn't want nothing to do with you. So I mean, the chases didn't really last. I guess one good highway chase. It was me and fucking SN, and I want to say JC3. We were doing before the motherfuckers now do roller paint shit. The shit looks insane. I don't even know how they do it. Like they do sick roller. We had fucking this cans of bucket paint that we robbed from fucking some garage or something. We were on the Van Wyck just doing fucking stomps, and we get fucking chased while we're running fucking SN, and it was probably the best guy to happen to because he doesn't give a shit. He fell in like this sewage fucking drain, and I was like, yo, man, I can't get you out of here. Like, I'm sorry, I'm out. Me and JC3, we break out. And, you know, this is before cell phones, all that shit. So me and JC3 are running. He's in some dirty, filthy stuff that I want nothing to fucking do with. And you gotta wait like the next day. You roll up to a motherfucker's, you know, their house, their parents' house. It's like, yo, you all right? He goes, yo, you left me in shit, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I was gonna jump in there with you, motherfucker. You didn't get arrested. That's all that counts. So I guess that, yeah, but the highways weren't too crazy as far as getting chased. But the cops don't. Once you start running into traffic, this was the 90s, man. Those cops weren't trying to be heroes. They, you know, what, they got chased? The highways were wrecked anyway. What was the point?
Word, facts. Who you think was the king of the highways?
Oh man, you got to give props to dudes like Fib, Duel, and that's our neck of the woods. You know, Saint. Then if you said it, Jess, and you said Med, but Med and Jess out in the Bronx, them dudes fucking rocked it, man. SP and Dash, they had a lot of highways. Those would be the killers if you ask me, man. Fib was rocking fucking stomps, man. Trapping this shit on the highway.
Fib is that nigga, boy. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever see these niggas up on the highways in the like mid 80s, late 80s? Kez and Class.
Yeah, that PCS crew, Kez, Class, fucking Comp rolled with them. Yeah, I've met all those cats through GERMZ. They were kind of through his neck of the woods. I don't want to say I rolled with him hard, but Cade is, you know, connected to them. Him and that dude Par are killing shit right now too. You got to give you know, props, man. Those motherfuckers are spraying a lot of paint, man.
Yeah, they definitely killing shit, Cade and Par. Yeah, man, because every time I bring them niggas up and shit, like in graffiti conversations, like, yo, these niggas used to kill the highways too. Niggas be like they don't know, and I'd be like, damn, son, you like, how did you not know?
You know, and far be it for me to say anything. Their only fault was, I guess, they didn't have the longevity. But they came out, they got shot out of a cannon. They came fucking out of nowhere, bam, for 2 years, they were a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, man. Everybody has their run. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah,
you said, Cade and Par are holding down their legacy right now.
big time. They're all over the fucking place.
Who else you see right now out there?
Oh man, I'm gonna sound like one of those fucking old guys, man. Half of this new shit, you know, they're doing a lot of it. I can't even fucking read it. If I can't read it, and you can't read it, you're wasting your time. Because no one else can fucking read it if you can't read it.
Yep. It's sad because when
I like to see the old timers come back.
they say that we hating because we old heads. It's not that we hating because we old heads. It's because y'all niggas is just trash and y'all don't take the time to practice on your style. Everybody came out toy in the beginning, but you had to practice, bro. Look at what Slash turned into. He was a toy at once. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, and listen, props to them. They're doing their thing, but you know, some of them out there, I like guys like Glare. He does some ill shit. I was talking about roller paint, that fucking Texas, that shit. I don't know how they do that with a roller, to be honest with you. So there is some ill shit out there happening, but collectively, it's junk. And then you got a lot of out of towners coming up in here. You guys wouldn't have lasted a fucking minute in the '90s coming up in here and trying to write. You would have been scared. You would have never did. So, you know, go back home.
Facts. That's why, you know, we need to see some fucking, you know, some new.
Understand your shit, how you introduce yourself.
Exactly, bro. Like it's crazy. I don't know how these young kids think and shit, and then they won't respect. Like they'll see an old school Venna, let's say, fucking, you know, faded.
Nice.
They come bang, filling right over you. When your shit lasted for years and OG niggas go all around you, you know what I'm saying, to respect your shit, and here comes a new nigga bang and just goes right over your shit. They don't have no respect.
Like a filling over a tag. Their whole outlook on graffiti is just, you know, I guess we're dinosaurs. You know what I mean? They just look at it different. They didn't get punched enough growing up. I don't know. But
they wouldn't survive in the 90s at all. That's crazy. So let me ask you this now. Just like I asked Slash, like looking back now, do you even realize like how people view your crew and the legacy, the footprint that y'all left? Do you even realize it? Like,
you know what? I really didn't until like 5-6 years ago. I got on the social media late to the game, and you know, people started hitting me up like and I'm like, wow, people fucking remember this shit. You know, like listen, everybody, no matter how tough or how legit they say they are in this game, everybody does it for different reasons. But there was always that little piece of notoriety you wanted. You know, the adventure, the camaraderie, all that shit was the big part. But yeah, to think that people today still give a fuck about it, like, blows my mind, man. And we were lucky. We branched out. We had a beyond the core group. I mean, there's a good 15 of us. I consider myself one of the small-time fucking guys. I mean, you got these two guys below me on the screen, SN, GIZ, you know, VE. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. JC3. You just keep going. And that's you know, that depends on how everybody would. A1's mega fucking underrated fucking writer. Blows my mind how he doesn't come up in a lot of conversations that he should come up with. We just ran deep, man. We were lucky. We just connected. I was thinking back, you know, not the 5 for us 80s fucking guys, not the 5 Lion Voltron, because that's only 5 motherfuckers. We were the vehicle Voltron. Everybody had their little niche: helicopters, cars, trucks, a fucking Blazer. There was a whole shitload of us, and we all had our little fucking niche in the crew and did our thing.
Bro, that's a fact, bro. That you hit it right on the head. It's like a Voltron thing, bro, because every interlocking part was its own identity and its own energy. You know what I'm saying? Catch, Dessa. This is what I wanted to ask too, because I remember early on, it was like Dessa and them. Yeah, y'all was like against each other in the beginning, right? Then y'all linked up, right?
No, I honestly, I knew Dessa and them guys before.
I went to go fight TKA and Dessa at the same fucking time. And these fucking dudes were running interference. And then when I met up with them, I was like, oh, motherfucker. And then that's when JRC was ragging all my fucking shit. And I tried to go fucking fight him and Les, and that wound up, we just squashed the shit. But anyway, sorry to interject. No, Venna was always cool with them. I didn't like those little
Yeah, I knew them before I knew Slash. So, and props to JRC, too. That dude is spraying metal left and fucking right. Left and fucking right, man. I'm happy I reconnected with him, you know, in the last couple of years. But, yeah, so again, our neighborhood was fucked up. There was like two halves, and we rolled with Destin and them, me and Tef, before we met. We met Slash. SN skated with us. He was a skateboarder. Like me, Tef, and Senna were skateboarders. But the rest of the neighborhood, like Slash and them, we didn't meet till again. Tef fucking did a midnight rendezvous with the CYO basketball fucking kid over here, and that's how it all happened. And then a huge fucking park at Forest Park, that was F.T.R. Park, whatever you want to call it. We were, you know, again, it was when New York was New York. Mayor Dinkins was mayor. You could do whatever the fuck you wanted. We were tapping 3 fucking kegs every Saturday night, every Friday night. Guy from Woodhaven, BW, went to school with Germs. He brought him around, and it was one of those things. You either came around and fit in, or you came around like, I'm never fucking going there again. Those guys are fucking asshole animals. And he came around early in the mix, and there was no going back. Became one of us.
Nice, yo. Germs is like a secret weapon, bro. He's the piecing skills is retarded, but like, he's a fucking secret weapon. That's a cheat code.
Wow. He's a fucking he's like the magic bullet of hip hop. Fucking real deal DJing. I'm gonna wake up one day and find out he's like an undercover 6th grade dancer. The fucking guy does it all, man.
Yo, bro, F.T.R, bro. I still, it's so legendary, bro. Y'all niggas really need to sit in a room and agree on something, because the documentary needs to be fucking told. That should be like a bestseller type shit, bro. For real, it's a fucking movie, bro. Germs, the DJing. How did you even get into DJing?
Just I don't know. Early on, like rock and hip hop, and you know, like everybody else, we had our Run DMC records, LL albums, and then we used to go to Flushing. Me and my boy Gary and a couple of my friends from my neighborhood, we would go to Flushing and buy some records, and then after a while, I had a couple of crates of records. Got used. I got a shitty pair of turntables at first. And then I got a pair of used turntables, and I just I fell in love with DJing, but more so I fell in love with trying to scratch and do shit. I was bored just standing there trying to mix 2 records, and I just kept doing that a lot, and then it just grew from there. So
what came first? The graph? The graph came first?
Well, I definitely wrote graph before I DJ'd. Not really well, you know. We were younger. We were in middle school when we first did graph, but you know, we were collecting. We were starting to buy cassettes, Slick Rick cassette, and LL and stuff like that, EPMD and the Boogie Down Productions, and then it just kind of went hand in hand. Like a lot of the 45 King break records had the Sig Graph on it. I forget if it was maybe Kel that did that, but just the hip hop and graph things interconnected in so many different ways. And I always like trying to be creative, and I'm a little OCD, so when I get into something, I have to try to, I just constantly do that. It's hard for me to branch off, so I'm just stuck on the DJ. And then as far as graph, I just wanted to practice. I love twisting letters. That's my thing. I always was a fan of wild style pieces.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, who did you like? Who influenced you? Because your lettering is crazy.
Well, it's switched up over time. It's cool because I could still be influenced by people today. But starting off early, I mean, definitely Ghost was a big influence. At one point, actually, when he was in his heyday, having 7-line battles with MQ, he actually lived directly across the street from me with his cousin for a little while, and just having him literally right there. I mean, I never even really spoke to him except him hanging out the window singing Gas Face or some crazy shit when he was kind of, but just having that as like an influence was big. But we had a place, a Flushing pit by us where we would go and practice, and some of the TMR guys were in there first. And Stain, Stane from TMR, he had some pieces in there that I really liked. Then of course, you know, like the older guys like Duster was somebody that I would look to for pieces. And then as time went on, you know, Bio, through Serve, Home, Cess, that area is really what I kind of fell in love with. Watching Wayne when he would do the nose pieces, I love that kind of stuff. So just trying to figure out how to make letters dance.
Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite piecer?
Oh man, of all time, I'm gonna say Bio, and my reason behind Bio is because it's very neat. It's very neat and clean. The way he does the colors, and he could switch his wild styles up, or the styles of his pieces. And it's very symmetrical. I like symmetrical, and there was just something about his stuff that always caught my eye. Still to this day, I still love I still love what he does.
Nice. So how did you link up with F.T.R?
Well, like I was saying, when I started in middle school, we were hitting the handball wall. The schoolyard up the block from my house, doing dumb shit like that, stealing tester cans, trying to write on the factories by my house. And I actually started, the first time I did graph was with Class, like when you were talking about doing the highways. So Class was him and one of my other friends from down the block. We went out together when we were young. And I bombed with those guys on the highways somewhat a little bit. I would do JSs. I didn't do GERMZ. But, they were kind of into the ultra violence a little bit. Like they kind of love beef. So their thing was like, let's fight with TMR as much as possible. My thing was really kind of like I want to get better and do these wild style pieces. And through my friend BW in high school, he was telling me about his friend Slash. And we exchanged black books first. I think I had a piece from Slash in a black book. And I'm pretty sure the date was maybe 91. And then I went over to hang with the F.T.R. guys. And that's 92. We just started becoming friends. And I found people that would want to do pieces as well as bomb. I really always wanted to find like the acid factories, different pits. Like we would go to 238th Street in the Bronx. We'd go to Tilden. We'd go to Hillcrest High School. Any of the spots that I can get a piece off, that's where I wanted to do. So Slash, Venna, Echo, they were down to do that, which was cool. Then I also realized that these guys were full Clockwork Orange and wanted the ultra violence at all times too. So I was like, all right, great. I can't go anywhere without fucking weapons coming out. I just want to do these letters. But yeah, I mean, it's fun doing a piece until the dude walks up in Tilden and pulls a gun out. And you're like, great, I'm just writing my name on a wall. Like, we all want to go home. Like, it's cool. But, so I was just trying to practice letters. And I found that Slash and Venna and these guys wanted to do the P spot. So we went off. And every weekend, I had a car pretty early on. And we would just hit up as many spots as we could get to. So they had the bombing going on. I would go and do some of the highways with my friends from like Class and those guys from back home and my boy Beck. And then I would be doing the pieces with Slash and Venna and them. I love doing those spots. Like that was like now it's abandoned factories, which I like. That's cool. Like the freight trestles are cool. For me, I just want to be able to get a piece. And you got to find those spots. So today it's kind of cool. There's a lot of dudes out there that find really good spots to go, and it could be right under their nose. It's like a busy street, and it's the foundation of a new building going up. And like I love that kind of stuff. We've been doing freight trains a lot. I like that because I can get a piece off and then it runs. The thing that changed a lot is that nowadays, back in the day, a lot of the piece spots, people would go over each other's pieces, but they'd run a little bit longer because they were illegal. So you still kind of had a problem with somebody if you went over somebody. But the legal spots now where everybody paints, it's just kind of become a thing where it's like you could do your thing and then an hour later, some clown could just go right over you. And I understand the way it works, but after a while it gets annoying and you want your stuff to run. So I've been doing a lot of freight trains because they run.
Yeah. So you got flicks of all your pieces?
Yeah, most of them. There's a few I don't have. One or two back in the day where we didn't have the little disposable box camera, and we did the piece, run to the store, came back. There was a couple of lines through the piece, like kids found scraps or some shit. But I got most of them, and it's a lot.
And do you have like old school flicks,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like bombing flicks and shit?
Yeah. I got a bunch. I got 12 to 15 photo albums. You know, actually, what's crazy, I know this this is real funny, but like a couple of my friends that don't write, if they're watching this, they'll remember. But I had like the coolest parents in the world. So actually, when I was young, I'd ask my father to take me around and take pictures of Graph, and he would. So I actually did some crazy stuff from places that I probably wouldn't have been able to get to. And yeah, like
That's dope.
hit White
Turn that
Castle,
into
and like I have actually some stuff where my dad took me around and take some pictures. But I got some pretty classic pictures. Yeah.
That's fire, yo. You gotta make a fucking sticker album or a magazine with them
I need
shits, bro.
to digitize all of them, yeah, and start getting them up and showing everybody for sure. Yeah.
For real, bro. I ask people that. I would love to see pictures, bro, because I was a nigga that didn't take no pictures.
Right. Well, you were bombing everywhere. A lot of people that were bombing everywhere. Nobody thought to take pictures of that. You know,
For
the
real.
times that I did go and bomb, I didn't think to ever take a flick of that. But when you do a piece, it's like you want to take the flick of your piece and have it. So that kind of stuff, I always had. And then, especially once we have our digital cameras, anything in that era, like I have 400 pictures of every piece from every angle. That now is different. But yeah, I have most of the stuff we did. And then also just DJing took up so much of my time that I missed some time in there where I probably would have did even more pieces.
You DJ? I didn't even know that.
I tried. Yeah. I missed most of the TVs.
Yo, so now, did you ever think it would get like that? Like years would pass by and the things that y'all have done will be revered like this?
I never really think about anything like that. For me, still, even now, it's like I'm always just thinking about doing more and doing something better or figuring out a new thing. I sketch constantly, and I study other people's stuff, trying to see what's going on and stay up on things. And the same thing with my music. I'm just trying to put a new album together, a new project, keep my cuts sharp, learn all the new stuff, all the new techniques. And I never really think about, that's why I haven't done any kind of our own magazine, our own book, our own thing. I haven't even posted on Instagram in months. And I've done a ton of pieces just this year already. Out with American Poet, these guys doing stuff, and I'm not really thinking like that now. There'll be a day when I slow down, and then I want to do what you're saying, like you're saying, get everybody together, little kumbaya moment, understand for the legacy, and then maybe documentaries, books, and stuff like that. Definitely.
What about merch? Because you're a phenomenal artist. You plug in your merch. Like, do you do shirts, canvases for hire, whatever? Like, what do you do?
I should
could
do
people
more.
get that?
I should do more, but I right now, I have music up everywhere. I've had that out for a long time. I have albums with tons of different artists, with like Royce the 5'9" and Dilated Peoples and KRS and Master Ace and Special Ed and just, like I've recorded with like 80 different artists. From Pharaoh Monch and Common, the Black Poet, Craig G, and like that was the thing for me for a while. So I made okay money doing that. I made okay money touring for like 12 to 15 years. I DJed in like 60 something countries and like 400 cities, multiple times. So that's where the money came from, and you invest it wisely and just try to keep going with the skills and push out what I could do. I'm a little bit of a purist, traditionalist kind of guy. I still like a certain era, a certain style of stuff. And although things change, I find my niche and just keep kind of, fill that void for the people like us that like that. Well, okay, so like France has a fantastic hip hop scene. Germany has a fantastic hip hop scene. The UK does, all over the world. But I love Japan. But my favorite place is I fell in love with Australia. It's beautiful. Like they got a good hip hop scene, and it's a cross between like England and California, and I love that place. And they got some incredible graph writers there. Do Mr. Basics. If you've never seen that guy's pieces, there's a guy, Mr. Basics. You go find that guy on Instagram. Like it's phenomenal shit for sure.
Dope. Damn, that's dope, man. How does it feel to fucking like travel the world and do what you love, bro? Like, that's like living the dream right there.
Yeah, it was definitely the last thing from my mind that, I would have never thought when I was practicing in my house. especially who I toured with. I mean, I toured with KRS a little bit, but the main thing is I toured with Rozelle, and I never would have thought like me and the best beatbox guy on the planet are gonna do a scratching beatbox battle, and that's gonna take me to small towns in Estonia, you know, that I'd be in Bulgaria doing graph on a highway and also scratching in the club, getting paid for it, which is crazy. Yeah, kids would find me sometimes and be like, "Yo, we saw that you do graph," and they'd have some weird foreign graph, some weird foreign spray paint and shit. So, but it's amazing. Yeah, just you know what? To what's really cool is just like how I met the F.T.R. guys. I met different people all over the world, and it's kind of like it's a real close community. And so now I have friends that I stay in touch with constantly all over the world, and it's a cool feeling to know that we're all on the same page and we all like the same stuff. So it's bigger than you think, but it's also still small and connected, and it's an awesome feeling to be able to do that. Definitely. I like to talk about it, but sometimes you feel like you're bragging about it, you know. But it's just like I was right place, right time, and you got to practice and have the skill. So when the opportunity comes, another DJ actually could have took the position that I had. He had a chance, and he didn't see the vision, you know, and it's like I saw that vision and had the skill to do it, and you know, that's what and here we are.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's dope. Like like I said, we're living this fucking culture, bro. You know, regardless of the fact, no matter what you do and shit. I feel like the mainstream ripped us off 100 million times over. They use graffiti in every fucking movie, commercial, rap. They use, you know, and they be fucking niggas over and shit.
Elon
I think
Musk
actually
wants us to go paint his. You seen that? Elon Musk is asking people to go paint his Gigafactory. He said awesome graffiti on his Gigafactory. Like, okay,
for free, right? He wants to do
most likely, right? Like he'll probably pay people in Dogecoin, and they don't realize what that's really worth.
Yes. So fucking all right, now the music is in your veins. The fucking graffiti, you still got some of the dopest pieces. I remember back in the day, like you said, Acid Factories and fucking even like K Lane.
Yeah, Lane is the place.
Yeah, I used to see like Lumit and fucking Gaze.
Yep.
And
Gaze and Too Ill and Swing.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. And you know, I'm an artist. I'm a born artist. My whole family, we're all artists. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really do SR pieces. You know, and plus it was 2 letters. You know what I'm saying? I was just a street bomber.
That's why I tried to get 5.
You know what I mean? So if I could do it all over, I would make a tag that says something. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so you
how
could.
I came up with this. You know, like originally I was writing. You know how everybody starts out. They got a bullshit 3-letter tag. You know, like that everybody else had. You know, I write Raz. You know, like it's like yeah, okay, everybody wrote that. You know, so I was writing like I think like Nell, and then you know you're experimenting, and then finally it's like from the influence of a Ghost or a Saint, you know, or Duster, you know, or Scheme, you know, and you're like, oh damn, like I want to do a wild style. It's 3 letters ain't gonna cut it. I want to go bigger and have more. So then you start trying to find the letters you like. And then I wanted it to be a real word. And I figured somebody's gonna write Germs with a G. So I just flipped it around, put the J, because also I knew if I did a G, I would bite everything Ghost did. So I want to save myself from not looking like an idiot and doing that. And I put the J, and then that just kind of progressed on, you know.
So give me your top 5 favorite writers of all time. Your favorite writers.
It's tough. I'm just gonna name some writers that come, like the first ones that influenced me for sure. We're gonna obviously Bio. That was really big to me. I know I have to do it. I have to say Ghost. I mean, Cousin Frank is just. I love what he did. Then it gets a little trickier because there's a lot of different, you know, I can't lie if I said that seeing the stuff that Scene did early on wasn't a huge influence, you know, but I can't, there's no way that I could say that wasn't a massive influence. So I'd have to put Scene, even though I like Duster's letters better. Then it gets tricky. Like, you know, there's a Serve for sure. I really love Serve stuff. Man, I mean, I could say T Kid. I could say, you know what? Yeah, I would say Scheme definitely was influenced. And then I like from just in like spray can art, I believe it was like Mode 2. Like some of the stuff that I think it was Mode 2 did in there that I was watch Arab was definitely something, you know, like I would love his pieces, seeing that stuff. I mean, there's a variety. Then there's new era people. I'm still influenced. You know,
By who?
there's still people that I love that are kind of new too.
Who? Give me a couple of names.
Okay, and then also people that aren't new, like somebody like Bates. Like Bates is just top Can 2 and Bates, like incredible. Dare, like people like that. Then newer guys like when Mears came along, you know, piece wise, like he just it's incredible the way he could twist letters and nail it right and do it differently every time. Like that shit is incredible to me. You know, I love what T Kid's doing now. Like what T Kid is doing now is a huge inspiration. Stuff like that. Yep.
Nice. So I'm gonna ask you the harder question. Who you think got the dopest throwy?
Whew. I know you're gonna hate me for this, but I love what Slash. not the shark one. I didn't like the shark one. I ain't gonna lie.
You didn't like the shark?
I love the SH though. The Slash's SH is so. First of all, I've seen people copy it, so that's how you know it's sick. Okay, that's how you know you got something real sick. If somebody copies your thing, sick.
Yep.
But it's totally different. It's just totally different. It looked like it stand out. It's like a fucking bat flying at you or some shit. I don't know. It's just like I love what he did. And then as far as throwies, you know, I like KAs. I like I really like what Duel did, because Duel would also rock he'd do the highways. He would do straight letters, different types of straight letters. He do TikTok, but the Duel throwy, just his simple throwy, him and Saint both had a dope classic throwy style. I like you know, not just because he's gonna be in here too, but like GIZ for impact. You know, it's just simple, it's neat, it's symmetrical, and boom, there it is. You know, tag wise, there's a bunch of different guys that I loved, from you know Trap and Besta and Easy. I just love straight, simple, and symmetrical. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that's kind of, if you see my stuff, I kind of write like that a lot. Like, I don't go too crazy. You know, there's like the dudes that do the Philly tag style where it's super stretched and crazy. Like, it's dope, but that's not how, you know. I think sometimes people get a little too extra with it. Like your SR, right? Your SR tag. Like, I could read it, and it's dope. And it's a style, but it's not carried away. It's like hip-hop. If Ed Boom's still in here, he'll understand when somebody produces a hip-hop song, right? You look at some of the greatest songs of all time. It's not overproduced. It's a kick and a snare, a drum, you know, a couple of drums, a couple of samples, a cut. Now these new dudes is all in there on their keyboard, like just trying to be Liberace on the keyboard, playing 85 layers. And it's still not as good as Sucker MCs, and that's a couple of drum sounds from a drum machine. So you know, less is more. I like the less is more sometimes too.
Facts. I'm stuck in the 90s too when it comes to the music, man, because a lot of this shit that's out right now, to be honest, I don't even give it a chance, because I want to hear some rapid, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear some Raekwon type shit, some Nas type shit.
Right. You know what the trick is? The thing that changed is that everyone can do it, right? So when we were first doing records and recording, we were, you know, if most people couldn't even afford a sampler or a drum machine. You know, when we got the S950, it's expensive, those kind of things. And then you pay for studio time. The sessions were expensive. Then you'd have to, if you're going to press up a record, you pay for that. And it was expensive. So you're 10, 15 grand in the hole trying to put out a record. And then you don't even know where that's going to go. Then you got to pay for promotion, mail it out to people. So today you could have a laptop or shit. You could do it on your phone. You can make a song. Everyone could do it. I mean, it's not that hard to make a beat. They sell sample packs with the fucking drums and the samples in it already. You put it in your thing, you hit a button, it makes the damn beat for you. And then, like, who can't rap? I mean, not to say who, you know, I mean, anybody could kind of rap. And then you just email it out, or you get it, you know, you throw it up and it's on Spotify. So what happens now is that there used to be 25 people in the marathon. Now there's 25 million people in the marathon. So there's a lot of good stuff. There's tons of good stuff. There's shows and some of my friends that DJ that play some incredible stuff. But if you knew what they go through to find that small, like I'm in a group that we get emails of all the new stuff, right? So I'll get gigs worth of songs every week. It's like 800 songs a week. And that's kind of the stuff we like. I'm not even talking about radio stuff. So then I have to go through that and find the 25 that I like out of that. So it's just really difficult to find it. It's like a lot on us where it could be a full-time job. There's stuff that's out there though. You know, there's some real sick stuff, but it's definitely way harder to find it and it gets lost in the mix. You know,
that's a fact.
And then since everyone's doing it, you know, and they don't cover our stuff. You see all the big hip hop websites, they don't cover graph. They don't cover like the indie hip hop scene as much, or the dudes that scratch. Like there's a DJ battle going on today, like with the portable turntables for the DMC. Like none of the big hip hop sites are going to talk about that or carry that. You know, and so it's really kind of on us. It's like subcultures. You know, the breakdance dudes, they're on their own. They want to break. They don't really give a shit who did graffiti. Like some do, and then like shit broke off into subcultures. So it's on us to kind of like bring it all together and keep everything together and find the good stuff. Kind of like we try to curate the good stuff.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. And yo, bro, you do albums, bro. I got bars, bro. Hit me up. You already know.
I was just gonna say that to you. Like a couple of things. First of all, we'll talk because nobody wants to hear us yap about that. But we're gonna talk. We're gonna work. Also, you gotta send me some of the like whoever did the Graph Champs intro. And then there was a song on one of the videos. I don't know if that is the song for the intro or not, but it was all rhyming about graph. I got to get that from you. I got to get that. We'll talk, but I got to get that.
Word. Yo, I was going to say, because I fuck with this Stray 16, you know, on IG. And there's this, my boy from there, Dios Diablo, he dropped his album. It's called Destined for Greatness. Bro, you got to give that a listen. That's the kid who did the intro. He's the one rapping on the intro.
I like that. I need that.
Yo, F Boom Production.
Yeah, well, yeah, man, I love F Boom and Hops. Shout out to Hops. I mean, definitely, you know, all of their work, fantastic. It's good to see them. And, you know, I love that they're still active too.
Can I get out some rhymes?
Yeah, we're gonna do the Slash album. I know how that one goes.
Fine.
Yo, hold on one second. Venna, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you, who's your top 5 favorite writers of all time?
Oh fuck, man. You know what? To even classify 5,
It's tough.
fuck that. I probably have the 5 train guys, the 5 in my crew, and then the 5 non-crew. I'm trained. TK scene, everybody mentioned scene. Listen, anybody our age, if you didn't look at Subway art and spray can art and not be inspired by that, then you're out your fucking mind. Scheme is
Is the Wiz.
Damn.
You gotta throw a fucking bomber up in there. Just all around motherfuckers. Listen, JA's fucking Godzilla. I don't care what you say. What the fuck want you know? I'm happy enough to call him a friend, but that motherfucker longevity has done fucking wreck damage. Kes 5. Old school, I gotta take it back. OE, Jaws, Easy. Everybody said them, but them fucking cats did it, man. Jaws, Easy, OE, looking at them in the streets, that's how it's one of the things I looked at and wanted to do. As far as people like, as far as crew, GIZ, DG was a wrecking machine. We've all talked about Deck. No shot. Who else? Fuck, there's so many. The list just goes on and on, man.
That's a hardcore list. Yo, OE is one of my favorite niggas too. His throwy was just so crazy. Yo,
when I was real little, like everybody else, I thought it was OS. I called him OS
for years.
I called him OS till I was like fucking 14. I was like, OS. And then somebody's like, that's an E. Yo, that guy rocked.
That's the same thing that happened to me.
Another great writers in the comments too. People are writing tons of different.
Another ill throwy right out of the cannon. Stacks SCS's S.
Stacks, yes, his S was dope. Throwies. Who you think is the best throwies? The best throwies.
you know what? I want to name people that didn't get named by Slash or Germs already. You know who's another motherfucker that killed shit that you don't hear about enough? So P2D. That dude rocks, man. He did a lot of fucking shit. Again, I'm trying to come up with names that we haven't heard yet. It's hard. Everybody really named Dash. Dash was just a fucking solid fill-in. Him and SP, whether he did a simple style or a fucking goddamn, you know, a bubble letter with a face in it. My man JD, love his fucking fill-ins. He fucking stomps some shit. Yeah, it's hard to give the crown out, but again, a lot of the names have been named.
Yeah, I love MQ's throwy too. That shit was like legendary.
Man. When he rocked the Med hat and Videograph, I don't give a fuck who you are. That was a fucking iconic throw right there. That summed up '92. If it didn't, give credit where credit's due, man.
Yeah, we're lucky that we had Videograph was like the fucking theme music and visual to our graph career while we was coming up. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I mean there was no social media. There was nothing, and you couldn't rob graph magazines because they sold graph magazines where motherfuckers were hip to scumbags like us that were gonna rob them. So I mean, some people bought them. I wasn't fucking buying that shit. So I had fucking Videograph. That if I didn't see it in person, I saw it on Videograph.
We'd send VE and GIZ in there to steal everything.
Yeah, they look like little fucking kids. We look like scumbags.
Who are these nice favors? I think you're lost. You're not in Bridgetown.
Yo, the 90s. We're bombing. We're fucking making a name for ourselves. We're fucking building our talents and the future people we're going to become. We're expressing ourselves in a way that the world embraced and stole from us. And we lived through all this and we survived to this day still to give each other flowers and still impact the next generation in all types of ways, bro. Like they gotta give it up to F.T.R, bro. F.T.R, you got the Knock 'em Dead sweatshirt too, KED, all the surrounding crews, DTF, like you said, Stacks YO, all of them, MTA of course, SNR, JRC, all of them, NBK. We was all like a unwritten family, you know. It was like all, you know what I'm saying, in Bushwick you had MBK and a couple of other crews, you know. Over here you had MTA and Dessa and them, then you had FTR, you had Papo and DCF, KED theme, all of us, and we all mixed and always got along and always had each other's backs, and I'm proud to be a part of that. But I salute y'all, bro, for real. I salute y'all for that. Always stand up niggas, always killing shit, always, you know. What's crazy about FTR is like niggas will what they say behind your back, they would say to your face. You know what I'm saying? Real stand-up dudes and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we really salute that because you don't find that in a lot of people. And you know what type of niggas you're talking about when you talk about FTR because it's still the same core. You know, the same core people. You know, that's just with me. I'm with Rav right here, you know what I'm saying? Since 14 years old. He's, you know what I'm saying? We're way older than that now, you know what I'm saying? Look, that's still my right-hand man, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we roll, bro. We're each other's keepers, my nigga. And FTR always been a mad, solid fucking fixture in this shit, bro. And I'm proud and I salute to have y'all niggas on Graph Champs episode 11, bro. So before I get Giz on, is there any last shout outs, anything y'all want to give before I get Giz on?
Yo, for starters, I want to shout you out, bro, because again, the new era, everything's documented. When we were doing our thing, all of us, everybody you just named plus a whole lot more heads, nothing was documented. We didn't take a flick unless you thought you did a burner. So for bringing it back and just, you know, trying to just document that time in history, props, brother. You're doing an awesome job. Listen to all your podcasts, heck, whatever you want to call these. The first 2 minutes are always a little shady. It looks like you have a little bit of trouble, but you always pull it off, man. So props for that. And yeah, just props to everybody, man. Thanks for having me.
What about you, Germs? You got anything to say?
Well, thank you for having us on here. It's not often that people really want us. That you gave us an excuse actually to get on here and reminisce and talk about this, which is fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you. And then just anybody there's tons of people that I see in the comments that I can't reply because I'm trying to pay attention. But there's a million people in here, and we got friends all over the place. And anybody that knows us, they know what kind of people we are, and that's why we have so many friends behind us. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, and we're going to continue. We'll all remain friends and keep doing what we do forever.
Salute to y'all. Slash, anything? I think Slash is buffering. He's messed up right now, but I'm gonna get back to y'all. All right, I'm gonna pull Giz up, yo. Like I said, salute to y'all. Thank you for being on Graph Champs, and we're gonna continue on with Giz, my brothers.
Gizmo.
All right, Gizzy Giz, I'm coming with you.
You could delete any one of us, all right? Can you throw us off? Is that how it goes?
Nah, I think, could y'all try to log off? Because I'm
all right,
trying to do it.
I'm going to log off. Yo, peace. I'm going to be back in the comments.
All right, peace. All right, bro. Graph Champs, episode 11, bro. There we go. Here we go, baby. I'm going to bring Giz. Big Giz, baby. It's time. Let's see. Hang right here. I'm throwing you the invite, Giz. Yo, Graph Champs, episode 11, bro. Here we go, baby. Graph Champs, episode 11. Yo, Giz. All right, first of all, like I said, I just got to give you the proper introduction, bro. This kid right here is one of the dopest motherfuckers to ever touch one of these right here, to ever do this, to ever give you what's going on in here, to express it on a canvas, on a painting, on a wall, in a train track, wherever the fuck you lucky that you got to witness this guy's hieroglyphics. Basically, this is Giz, MTA F.T.R, bro. I salute you. Thank you for being on Graph Champs 11, bro. You heard?
Having me. Thank you for that nice intro.
Nah, you're a legend in the game. Your fucking art is fucking outstanding, and we just want to start from the beginning, bro. How did you get into graffiti? What got you into graffiti, Giz?
So when I got graffiti, it was around 1986. I was 8 years old. My older cousin used to babysit me. He used to be down with all the FYA guys like Deck, Mag, No, Show, Deem, Sept, all those guys from like that generation. And like they were all older than me, and my cousin used to babysit me, so they were into graph because it was the 80s, and like I was just exposed to it, just by being down with them. And then 1988, I went to Show's house in Bushwick, Show MSD, and I was never exposed to drugs and shit like that, right? Like I didn't know about it. Like so, my cousin was there, and everybody was older than me. I was like only 10 years old at this time, and like, they splitting up a blunt. They start like taking the tobacco out of the cigar, and I'm like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck are these guys doing? Man? Hey, I'm saying, like, I felt a little bit weird, and he was there that day. And at the time, I wrote Pac-Man. That was my first tag because I was into video games and shit, and not a lot of people know that, but that was my tag. And Show was making fun of me. Show was like, nah, man. He's like, yo, you can't write Pac-Man. That's just like 6 letters, man. He's like, you could get arrested by the time you... And then, like, when they started lighting, they lit the blunt, and they're all smoking the blunt and shit, and I never smelled that before. So I was like, I knew it was something different. Like, all right, cool. Like, I was like real quiet, because they were all like 8, 10 years older than me. And then like Asp had the blunt, and Asp got up and he passed it to me, and Show jumped up and they started fucking arguing and shit because Show was like, yo, he's a little kid, man. Like, don't fucking get that shit. I felt like I did something wrong, like I felt like I was.
How old was you exactly around that time?
Yeah, whatever the situation is, like I was just being honest, and he's like, look at him, man. He's like, yo, he's like a fucking little Gizmo, And then Show was like, yo, he goes like, yo, that's your tag. He goes, your tag is Gizmo, and he goes, you write Giz for short. my black book. It was a 2-page white canvas black book, and he did a double page inside cover, and he did a Giz, a Charlene, and a Lisa. That was his daughter and his wife's name, and he did a 1988 in it, and I still have that shit, you know. And
Wow. How old was you? How old was you?
10. I was 10 years.
Damn.
Yo, that's history right there. And you got it from Show, one of the presidents of MSD, one of the roughest, craziest niggas from Bushwick. One of my idols, basically. He's one of my idols.
Hector, rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, bro. That's a fact. Wow, that's a crazy story, bro. So now it's the early 80s and shit. You got Giz or whatever. And so who you coming up with? Like who you around?
So at the time, I was just a neighborhood toy. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just fucking using fucking pilot markers. And, you know, my cousin was teaching me how to make fucking mops out of fucking shoe dye and all that shit, you know, like. And I remember the first time, this is when so at first it was just like, I was like initially like interested because I was like, yo, I knew it was something like, you know, different. And it was like, but my first addiction, I could tell you my very first time that I knew I was addicted to this shit. Yo, I was with my cousin. He used to bench trains, right? He used to take me on train rides when he would babysit me, right? And when I was a little kid, to me, just sitting in the car, looking at the front window, just to see tracks and shit and the tunnels and all that stuff. Like, you know, being a little kid, you know, little kid shit. But yeah, remember we were in Manhattan. Like outside my element when I was a little kid, you know? And busted out a mop and he caught a tag on the inside with mad people on the train, right? And I remember like feeling like, oh shit, like he did that in front of everybody, you know? And then he passed it to me. And it wasn't like a crank mop, like all these it was a homemade fucking mop, you know? Like he passed it to me, he goes, now you do it, right? And I remember grabbing it and I caught a tag and the shit, I remember the ink going all over down my arm, bro. That shit wasn't sealed properly, right? But yo, I remember turning around and like feeling like all these people looking at me and I knew I was doing something like I was kind of wrong a little bit, you know? And I just felt that rush and it never left me, you know? And like, I know I do like the art shit now and like I sell like the canvases and I do all these things and all that. But you know what, man? I'm a fucking bomber at heart. And that bombing shit, there is something about that will never, ever, ever get old. No matter how old I get. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about 30 years later and like, I can't stop. Like, I love it, you know?
That's a fact. That's a testament to the relentlessness of and the passion of a true graffiti writer, bro. Like I had to explain this shit to wifey for years and years and years. She's like, you're this age and look at what you're doing. And I'm like, I could show you a million other dudes that's doing the same shit. It's just who I am. It's not like something that I could just stop. It's just who I am, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? And we're from an era where like in the 90s, you know, like it was a violent era, man. You know, I got a lot of scars on my body to prove it. And it was a lot of shit, man. It was like everybody had something to prove, you know what I mean? Like you could be walking down the street in the 90s and just see a total stranger and they just look at you and be like, yo, what you looking at? And before you know it, you're fucking knife fight. You know what I'm saying? Like kids these days, it's like they're on Instagram like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up when I see you. Yo, word, man. Yo, they at each other and all this shit. Like, but when they see each other, what happens? Yo, it's all good, man. I didn't mean that shit, yo. You know what I mean? Like, it was a different era, man. You know? And honestly, I'm glad it changed because if it didn't, a lot of us wouldn't be here to keep talking about it. You know? That's
a fact. So now, when did you start taking it serious? Like from the beginning, you was like, yo, I'm going to kill shit. Right when you caught the tag on that train, then you felt the rush.
I felt the rush but I didn't know, like nobody schooled me, right? I was around a lot of real writers like Deck, Mag, No, like I said, Show, Deem, Sept, my cousin T.R. But no one schooled me. No one was like, yo, this is what you got to do, you know? So it was the end of the train era. So like I kind of like stuck to that a little bit, you know, like I was doing a lot of little station shit and I was like they would bring me into the train yard here and there, and I would like catch like little tags like under the doors because that's all I could reach, you know. And I remember one time they brought me into the M yard, and like they all ran. I didn't know which one was the third rail, and they all ran away from me. And they were like fucking with me, like, don't hit the third rail, don't, you know. And I didn't know which one was the third rail because I was a little kid, you know. But like, trains were my number one thing when I was little. Like, I really loved them. But then when they got cleaned, it was like a losing battle. And that's actually why we started MTA, me, Dessa, and Sen. Because writing on clean trains a lot when they cleaned them, and we kept writing fuck the MTA, and then we just started MTA turned into a crew. And then shit just ended, and it transferred to the streets, and it turned into a different ball game, you know. And it was like a whole different environment, because going to the trains, you know, like you're risking getting into trouble and all that shit. But when you go on the streets, man, you had like I heard some of the guys before talking about, you and you know, and New York was not neighborhood friendly in the all right, like it wasn't cool to be a white boy in Brownsville back then, you know, like you were like looked
Yeah.
at.
It was a cop or crackhead.
I was straight up looked at as a Vic, you know. So, you know, like, and a lot of New York, you know, like, yeah, people say all city. People all say all city nowadays, but you know what? Nowadays, all cities considered from like Bushwick to the Lower East Side. It's like a small circle. All right. When I was little, all city was a fucking 5-borough thing, man. You know, like it was a bigger, and we didn't have cars. You know, we took the trains. Me, V, and SN, we took the trains everywhere, man. And like these guys, like Slash, I think was saying, like we didn't have those jetpacks. We were bringing 25-foot ladders on the train, like different transfer trains. What the fucking matter, man? People were like, "The fuck are these assholes doing, man? These fucking idiots," you know. But that's the way it was, you know. It was nothing that we planned on. It just turned into the way it turned into, you know. I don't know.
What about the spots when y'all went on the rampage, hitting all the spots with the back-to-back fill-ins? Was that strategic or was just random? Like, we ended up here, so we're gonna hit this. Was it mapped out?
So initially, we would just go out and we would just do our shit, right? Like, there's like that video, I think it's out there, that Ink Sonic from Bad Crew, they videotaped us doing some stuff in Greenpoint. It's funny, we got arrested that night, right? But you could see we were all just like random out there, we're all just like doing fill-ins and shit, right? Because, you know, it was different. Like, you know, people would tag and do shit like that and throw ups, but not turned into like New York got so bombed so fast that we had to, like, doing, because people always tell me like that I always did my fill-ins like solid, and the reason that I started doing my fill-ins solid was this guy Jet. I used to go upstate with my parents on the weekends, right? They had a house upstate, and this guy Jest, J-E-S-T, from TVT Crew in the Bronx, like him, yo, he had shit on highways so solid. They looked like they were crispy and so like solid filled in, solid crisp outline. And I remember, like, you know, back in the 90s, you had like a fucking regular analog camera, man. And I used to like try to take pictures from the car of his shit, you know, because I was like, yo, that shit is so solid. And it would get me open, you know. And that, and Catch was a lot. I was like, yo, we got to do it more solid, man. And they were like, nah. Because at first they were like, they didn't like it because it took longer, you know, like we didn't have those fucking hardcore fat caps that everybody got these days. It was, you know, orange middles that you modified, you know what I mean? Like you try to make them like better and stuff like that, you know? And
Yep.
so it took longer. And then the force fields came out, because the force fields, that is because there was so many films upon fill-ins in the streets back then. Like right during COVID, New York is actually looking like, you know, it's bombed. New York is bombed right now, you know. But like back then, New York was bombed too. So it was a different type of bomb, but we used to have to do our force fields to like separate from the background wall, you know, like whatever was behind it, you know, because the walls were so tagged upon tagged and you know throwies and this and that, and the force separated it.
Where
I I adapted that. I saw JD and JA doing that first, and when I saw them doing it, I was like, that got me open. I was like, that shit separates the shit rest, you know, and it takes longer, you know, so it's like it was good.
what about your throwy? Because I've seen you, you know, we know each other for years and years and years. I've seen you from the beginning, which you had the lowercase G throwy,
Yep.
boom. You know what I'm saying? Then you had like the straight letter shit, boom, which morphed into the like straight letter giz that you do now. And then the big fluffy iconic super duper giz that you do that what you know what it is now. Like how did you come up with that?
So so the evolution of a throwy, like I guess every writer goes through that, right? There's stages when you know you're trying to make your way and come out your own way, you know. And I had the lowercase G throw up, which came out like it came out in Videograph. I did a Videograph with it with Desta and stuff like that. And you know, like I was bombing with that guy Set KRT for a minute. You know, he's the one that kind of like started taking me like to like neighborhoods I'd never been to before, like Harlem, Bronx. I mean, because he had a car and I didn't have a car. You know, like I didn't have a car until I was much older. And I remember I was like with Slash in Slash's fucking crib, and I remember telling him like, "Yo, I'm just not my fucking lowercase G throw up, man. I wasn't feeling it. Like I was like, it wasn't bad, but I just felt like it didn't have that fucking oomph, you know, like whatever." So Slash is very good at styles, and Slash is, you know, always, you know, doing his thing. And we were in his basement, like rocking some throwies, and I was like, we were just playing on paper, you know, trying to come up with a new giz throwy, right? And then he did something where, like he took a pen and he, like, you know, when you just keep sketching, but you don't lift the pen off the paper, and he did like a thing from the G to the I where he didn't lift it off. And if you look how my G to the I goes, like he didn't plan it. It was like kind of like a mistake. He was just flowing, you know, like trying to come up with something. And I was like, yo, and it was like it was actually upside down to me, but I recognized it. I said, wait, let me see that. I said, that's cool, you know, like because the G to the I didn't connect. And I liked that for some reason. And then I just played with it from there on. And then that straight bar to the giz. Because all of my entire throw up is curves, except that,
Besides the line and the Z.
you know, and that straight line, it doesn't make sense, but it works, you know. I don't know. I just got lucky, man. I mean, I don't know. You just gotta keep, you know, like it's like anything with style, man. You just sometimes stumble upon stuff, and that's how we stumbled upon it, and it evolved. You know? Seen like in the early '90s, like looks very stumpy, but now when I do them, you can see like the loop on the G is much bigger. You know, it evolved a little bit, but I fucking love it. Doing throw ups, I'll do throw ups all day, any day. My favorite to do.
You don't get tired of it?
Piece or anything that like compromises like or competes, I should say, with doing a fucking throw up or a fill-in. To me, for me, I'm speaking to myself.
Yeah, your fucking throwies are mad dope. It's up there with the elites and shit. What other throwies do you like? Who else's throwy you like?
I mean, I don't want to be repetitive, but you know, like Ghost Throwy was always dope to me. I mean, Oe's Throwy was dope to me. I loved Hayes' Throwy because I loved when he did the SE3 throw ups. Like I was like, yo, why is he doing SE3s? It didn't make sense to me. But I was like, yo, that shit's dope, you know? Like yeah, like clean style. There, love is and in. Yeah, in too. A lot of people underestimate in, but in got it. You know, like in used to get up. You know, the class. You know, and I hate to say them, but because like some some of my friends, so I don't want to sound partial, but like Jay's throw up is so iconic to me too. You know, like
Mm.
we became friends, but like even before I knew him, I mean, like he was doing the boot and apples. You know, and I
Moving that one.
on that. My boy Dessa, like he was like he put me onto the boot and apples. He was like, yeah, you just check this dude out, you know, because Dessa too. Dessa evolved so dope. Dessa's throwy and Dessa top. I know you're gonna ask me, so I'm gonna say it. Dessa's in my top 5. One of my best friends, and he's in my top fucking 5. Yo, you can go places in New York City, and not only will you see a fucking Dessa fill-in, you'll see a Dessa throw-up, a Dessa market tag, a Dessa fucking whiteout tag. Yo,
$1 million
all in the same spot. And you know they were all done at different times. Because he's got, like DG would say, he's got a sick need. You know, like he's got a sick need and he just can't stop. You know? But it's true, you know? Yeah. DG?
Yeah. Coming up around all of the people that came up around us and shit. It's incredible all the like big names that came up in from such a little area and shit, right? It's like Bushwick, Ridgewood, all of the surrounding areas. A lot of big time riders, bro. A lot of big time riders and shit. Who's your all time favorite riders? Your all time favorite riders?
So it's hard to say, man, because like internet, for example, right, has exposed me to a lot of people around before the internet, right? Even after the internet. I want to be honest about it. Like my number one all-time writer is Ghost. Because I grew up, like with the people the MSD, the F1 crew, like SDS crew, those dudes, like NW painting. I painted that style like them for a long time, man. And I don't remember where it was where I saw the first Ghost piece. And Ghost's style is mad fluid, right? Like he's not like a conventional writer. His style is so different, because it's all curvy, drippy, and setting. Remember it moved so deep, and it was around, yo, my man. And it was around the time that Sony and Slick died, because I remember that Slick handball court from my house, and because I met them through everybody, So I didn't really know them, but I just felt like it was cool to pay respect. I got pictures of it too, shit. And I did my first GIZ piece that was totally influenced off of a Ghost piece, And that was, I think, in 1991-ish or 1990. I'm bad with dates, but around that time, It was like before I met VE, because I met VE in 91, and I just moved by that style. And then later on, I learned out that writer, Ghost style. A lot of people don't see writers. Fucking ill. First time I was even born,
Yo, Giz, could you move your phone a little bit or something? Because you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah. How's that? Better?
Yeah. I want everything that you're saying to be heard clearly.
All right.
So keep on, my bad.
Yeah, so I was just talking about Strider, like how Strider, was like a dope writer too, man. Like the guy was doing stuff, like he's the guy that influenced Ghost. A lot of people don't know that, like his style is so dope, I wish I had something to show people, because a lot of people don't know who Strider is, and Strider is a big deal in the graffiti game, yeah, I don't know, like, you know, and then like Sento and Reese and those guys, like, you know, like the way they were doing shit, it was so like different. It was so fresh, you know, and like, because a lot of people painted like a certain thing with a certain drop shadow, a certain arrow style, you know, and then and those guys all came out and they were just like they just erased it and they were like, yo, we're doing it this way. We're making it cartoony and fun and like just a little bit like more, you know, fluid in my opinion, you know? And it just that's what influenced me, you know?
So what about like the graph today? What do you think about a lot of the graph today?
There's a lot of graphs right now, man. I mean, the last year, everybody knows New York City got fucking stomped by people that I've never heard of, you know? And not taken away from them, like, you know, everybody starts out and does their thing, but like it's crazy, you know, like the way I love it. I love seeing like all the new graffiti, you know? I don't hate on
Do you see
anybody, but
anybody? Who do you see getting up like from the new niggas?
there's a lot of people getting up, you know? I don't want to get into the whole politics of it, you know? Because, I don't know. I just don't want to.
I see you know a couple of 17 and Ja and a certain other person still, you know, like it's beautiful, man. It's like wallpaper that the city need, boy.
Yeah.
I was in a circle line and I seen
Plead
this
the
shit off.
fifth.
For sure, for sure. Fucking yeah, and the paintings, bro. The paintings are fucking ridiculous, bro. Like how did you like
Thank
cross
you.
over like that?
So I started like so in '98 I started getting into the gallery scene with this guy Martinez, right? And he reached out to me through this guy, and he was like, he called my house, and yo, at the time, like I was on felony probation. I was not trying. I was like in like a lot of trouble for like some attempted murder shit, and I wasn't trying to like get in trouble. And like the Vandal Squad was always trying to like catch me because luckily at that time, you know, I was lucky and they never caught me. And this guy Martinez would call my house or my mom's house because I had moved out already. And he was like, yo, you know, like I have this gallery show, and I would just be like, click, you know, I hang up the phone on him because I thought it was the cops trying to set me up. You know, I thought it was like them trying to get me to admit who I was, kind of thing. You know, and then finally, like, you know, a third party reached out to me. It was like, nah, like this guy, like, you know, really got a gallery, this and that. You know, I was like, all right, so I went and meet up with him. You know, and then we started selling shit, and you know, I made some money. And I was like bugging out because I was like, yo, I just made some money selling graffiti. Like, you know, I was bugging. But it wasn't like a crossover at that point. But that was like my first experience with like doing the gallery stuff. But later on, you know, like I did stuff here and there. And then like later on, like, you know, Ghost, you know, started to teach me how to like use a brush, you know, because a brush is a big transfer. It's a big crossover, man. Like I hated it in the beginning, you know, like I didn't like it. And because you know, as graffiti writers, we're used to markers, right, and all that shit, you know, and spray paint. And then Rhyme MSK was another one, you know, like Rhyme was like he
Yeah,
was
he's dope.
basically he let me share his studio with him. He was like, "Yo, just you know, I got a studio in Brooklyn. Just come through, you know, paint whenever you want." And I did, you know, and he taught me a lot, you know, on the canvases and all that stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like you know, I've been very fortunate, and I feel very grateful that like I just happen to like cross a lot of good paths and meet a lot of good people. Like you know, like things that I never thought would happen. You know, like it's crazy. Like sometimes, like in the beginning, I would always feel like, nah, I'm not gonna do that shit. It's sellout. It's sellout. You know. But you know what? Fuck it, man. I mean, I still do the real deal. So I'm like, I'm not really selling out. I'm just
Why not? You're
making
not
money
selling
off of being that, you know, like I'm still gonna go out there and do what I do, you know, because I love it. I fucking love it. I love it so much, man. It's like all like, yo, my mom's dying right now, like, but you know, like I go out there, and that's the only time I forget about that shit. Not forget about it, but like I feel better. Like it's like therapy to me, you know. And it always will be, you know. And I'll always put up my boys that died, you know. So
For sure, man. Rest in peace to all the fallen soldiers, bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
hell
it's
yeah, a
they
lot. There's a lot.
come a long way, a long, long way.
And since this is like an FTR interview too, so it's like all of us, man, the FTR guys, we lost a lot of fucking friends, man. A lot, man. Like a lot. You know, it's crazy. You know, like I mean, even like look at Aspen Zexor, man. That's a father and son, man. I remember when Zexor was born. You know, and Aspen said like, "Yo, I'm having a kid." All right, like oh shit. You know, it's like they're both gone. You know, VE's daughter was born like the week he died. You know, like DG. You know, I was the last person to be with DG before he passed away. I dropped him off at the train station. 2 hours later, Elo called me, he's dead. My brother exists, you know? I mean, no, the list is huge, man. It's tough. Like, we lost a lot of friends, man. I don't know. I don't want to get negative on this. My bad. I'm just reminiscing.
Nah, it's good, man. You know, they have to be talked about and remembered because these are all, you know, fallen soldiers, man. Rest in peace to all of them. You know, like you said, your brother exists, bro. That was another one too, bro. Like it's crazy, man. You could be here one day and not the next and shit. That's what the show is about, to give people flowers while they're here, bro. We salute you for everything that you have done for the graph culture, you know what I'm saying? And the streets want to know your story and shit. So that's why I thank you for coming on and all of that and shit. So now you're in the art world. And you how did you run in with Ghost? How did that happen that you and Ghost like
So
became
so the reason I met Ghost was through DG. So DG was living in Staten Island for a minute because you know he's from the hood, and then he moved to Staten Island. He was living out there, so I go visit him. And at the time, Ghost was living out there with Strider, so I met them through DG, and you know whatever, we just hit it off, you know, like, and we were just chilling, and you know that was like I met a lot of the people through DG, to be honest with you. I met Rhyme through DG too in Staten Island. I think I met Rhyme in like '97, and I DG about the same time. And then yeah, and then like we just painted and stayed in touch and became friends, you know. It's crazy how you meet people. Yo, you know what's really fucking dope about graffiti to me? I met so many fucking people around the world, right? Forget about even just New York City. The world, man. Like just through graffiti. And you know what? A lot of them are really good friends now that I would have never known if it wasn't for Graph, and I'm so grateful for that, you know? Like there's one dude that is so fucking underestimated. It's my boy in Copenhagen. This guy, he writes Sabe, S-A-B-E. This guy is a fucking animal. Retarded. I mean, the trains and the style that he does. And I met him through Ghost, you know, because Ghost was like, he was living out there for a minute. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I met this guy, Sabe. He's fucking ill. And at first I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's like so different. I wasn't used to that style. And that shit grew on me. And then I was like, yo, that shit is ill, you know? And it's like, I got friends in like Brazil and like, yo, all these crazy countries, man. It's like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, man. You know, it's like, social media definitely helped connect the world when it comes to that. But it's nice because a lot of the people that live outside of New York, like, would come to New York in the 90s, you know? And then I would meet them like now, like in the 2000s and 2010s eras, and they would be like, yeah, I was in New York in the 90s and I remember seeing your shit. And I'm like, damn, people paid attention like that? Like, kind of crazy. I wish VE was around because, yo, man, like when we were doing our thing, like nobody, like we weren't like big headed because it it was different, man. We were just doing it, you know, like we weren't like, yeah, we killed it, you know? And like, but I only felt like I didn't feel like it, but like I only like hear what people say and they're like, yeah, you guys did a lot, you know, like, and I'm, you know, I'm grateful that people noticed it because I always tell people, man, like the shit that when we were doing like our thing like hard, it was like a job. Everyone thinks it was all fun and games, but it wasn't. It was like because we didn't have money back then. Like we had to go rack our paint, you know. We had to fucking go scope shit out. Then you had to go paint all night. And like when we were painting, we were going out with backpacks. Like me, V, and SM, especially like the three of us. So we'd be going out with 20 cans each a night, coming home with nothing. And like at the time, I was going to Catholic school, and these guys were going to public school, so they didn't have to go to school. I had to go to school because I was fucking, you know what I mean? You could only miss a certain number of days, and then you were kicked out and shit. And the only reason, you know, and I did that because that was the only thing that kept my parents happy because I had moved out of my home at the time. So my mom was like, yo, as long as you stay in fucking private school, you know, like whatever, you know? And then V and SN would be making fun of me because I would be changing into my fucking Catholic school uniform, like on the rooftop at the end of the night and shit. Like dropping off paint and shit. And these guys would go home and go to sleep, but I would go to school and be like fucking sitting there, like, you know, like fuck, I'm tired and shit, you know. And then fucking V would like be picking me up when I'm getting out of school so we can go rack paint, you know, like so we can go out again, you know. It's crazy. We had so much energy. It was nice, man.
Fun.
Yeah, man, fun.
We were also very competitive with each other, you know. Like there was a few times where we would get into fights, like you know, like not like bad fights, but you know, like dumb like friend fights, you know. And over spots because we would fight over spots, you know.
Yeah, me and Ever and Turk used to do that too. We used to fight over spots.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to put you on the spot. Out of the whole crew, the whole MTA F.T.R crew, there's a lot of dope street killer heavy hitters. Who has the dopest throwy?
You know, it's hard to say because there's like V's throwy is dope to me because it's frozen in time, you know. Dessa's throwy, like his latest throwies, are so dope because they're so raw and graffiti. Slash's throwy is one of my favorite throwies when I was painting with him and he busted out that fucking sharp H. I was like, damn, man, he just fucking like cut the wall open with that, you know. I remember that, you know. You know, everybody had their own. I mean, we all had like I guess you could say we all had a style that was like a crew, but like everybody had their own little style too. You know, Catch had a nice bubble. You know, Catch's story was a little bit iconic with his little like flowy like H at the end.
So if you could only pick one, which one would it be?
I don't know.
You could
man.
even include yourself too.
What's that?
You could include yourself too. You could pick your own shit.
I mean, I really love my throwy, but I'm not gonna put myself out there. I do though. No, you know what it is? I could do my throw up with my eyes closed, and I'm not even joking, man. People that have bombed with me are like, "Yo, how did you do that without looking at the wall?" You know, because I'm looking right and left, man. I'm not trying to, you know, get arrested for this shit, you know. But I mean, Dessa's throwy is dope to me. I love Dessa's throw up. You know, I've known him since 1989, and I've seen it evolve. And like now, it's got so much fun. Like they're all like each one is unique. They're all different. You know, and it's he gets it in. You know, he
Definitely a relentless street bomber, bro.
he does not need anyone to go with him. Yo, that's what I always said that too, man. Like, to me, one of the realest things that indicates a real deal writer is if you're down to go down for your crown alone. Like, you go out by yourself. Because not a lot of people could do that. A lot of people, it's you know, it's great to go out with people. I'm not taking away from that because it's always dope to have a lookout. You know what I mean? And it's always fun to be with somebody. But when you go out there just by yourself, right? That's a different thing, you know, because you're alone, man. You're like, there's no one looking out for you. There's no one holding you down. It's just you, and that changes the stakes a little bit, you know. So, yeah, I think that is one of the requirements of being like a long-term graffiti writer, like, you know, like
Yeah, that's and Catch too. Catch doesn't get a lot of credit that he deserves. He's
exactly.
a motherfucker. This fucking bomber.
And A1s too, man. A1s is another one, man.
A1.
They can come out whenever they want.
A1s is exactly. Like any one of them could come out whenever they want, just destroy shit mad quick and with nice, like he said, solid shit, big shit, double outline, shadows, nice and crispy, not no bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, man. There's the level of style and dedication on when you're out there is like it's kind of unmatched, bro. The spots that I used to do back-to-back fill-ins, high fill-ins, a lot of high fill-ins, high spots, dopeness, bro, dopeness. A fucking do you have a favorite bomb that you ever did or a crazy bomb that happened?
Oh yeah, I got a couple crazy ones. One crazy one was yeah, there's a bunch, man. I mean, I don't know how much time we got, but I got stories for days, man. I got stories. Dude,
you can tell me one. You ever ran into any other writers bombing that you was like, oh
man.
shit?
I got into some crazy violence fighting in the 90s, you know? I don't even want to get into like mentioning names because, you know, writers have feelings.
What about big writers? You ever ran into a big writer like bombing and shit? Like, oh shit, like y'all was both bombing?
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that either because sometimes, like I said, you know, people, you know, I mean, I will tell how it is, but this is a live audience and people are gonna get, you know, upset about certain things. But yo, I have a, you know what one of my favorite bombs was? Me and VE, we went down Atlantic Avenue and we did a lot of stuff on Atlantic Avenue one night. And one spot we did, it's funny because some of those pictures of all those pictures that are on Instagram now, like of him standing in front of his fillings, those are from that bomb. And I took all those photos, you know, those are all my pictures that I shared with people and they leaked out. But like there was some dope spots that we did where, because Atlantic Avenue has some crazy drug areas, man. And there was like one spot it was like Atlantic and Logan, I think. You know, there was like a projects over there. And we were doing some spots and that some little kid, man, like he was like half our age at least. You know, I was like 18 at the time or 17. He came up to us on a bike and he's like, yo, put me up. And I was just like, I didn't say nothing, and V was just looking at me. I was like, should we just keep going? I was like, all right, fuck it. We just finished our shit. And he was just like sitting there on his little mini BMX. It was like a tiny fucking little mini fucking BMX bike. And he's like, let me get the can. So we gave him a can of paint and he caught a tag in between our fillings and he wrote Sin Dog. And he was like, yeah, he's like, yo, I'm gonna look out for the spot. I was like, all right, bet. He was like, look out for some drug spot down the block and shit. But yo, you'll see it in the pictures, man. It says Sin Dog in between our felons. And another time, I was with Dessa, V, and I think Ketch was there, and this kid Jer, that he wasn't really down with us, but he hung with us like a few times. He had a car, and we were like under the 2 and the 3, and like we pulled up to some like intersection, and it was like ghost town back there. It was like zombies walking around and shit. And yo, this dude pulled up in front of us on a bike and just stopped. And he just saw like 5 white kids in a car and just thought, you know, he felt like, oh, we're in the wrong neighborhood. Like these kids are not supposed to be here. And yo, the homie pulled out his fucking a gun and just started shoot like right in front of our car and just started shooting in the air. Pop, 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 pop. And I remember Dessa was like, yo, we can paint here. There's no problems. Nobody's gonna fuck with us. Like as far as cops, you know. And I'm like, fuck the cops, man. I was like, we're gonna get shot. And then we just bombed. We just did a bunch of fillings and shit, you know. Shit. I mean, what else? There's a spot I did on the M line, on a rooftop where it was a bunch of air conditioning units. And I was just the next day I was supposed to get sentenced for some crazy shit. It was 1996. So I was facing a lot of time, and I thought like the next day I thought I was like getting cuffed up and going away. I was like, fuck that. You know, I was like, I'm going out by myself, I'm doing this rooftop. I did, I think, 14 fillings on these air conditioner roofs. I don't want to say where it was because then it's kind of like tying me to the location. You know what I mean? But
I remember.
it was in a few magazines and stuff, and I'm standing there and I look back. It was like 8 o'clock at night. It was kind of like just at the end of rush hour. I look back and I see on the station, I seen like a light, and I seen a cop, an undercover with his gun drawn, and he's on the station, so he's nowhere near me because there was like a crazy fence with barbed wire between us. But I knew that I was like they knew I was up there. I was up there for a minute, and then all of a sudden I was like shit. So I just I just kept doing my filling, and if you look at those pictures, you'll see the last filling is mad dusty and it's not solid like all the other ones. And the reason was because I knew that I was spotted. I knew I didn't know where they were coming from. This roof was huge. The roof was like 10,000 square feet. So I didn't know where they were going to come at me from, but I knew they were coming. And then all of a sudden, like, as soon as I finished that outline, I just dropped all the paint and I fucking dipped towards the only way I can go. Damn, I wish I could tell more details of this story. But I ended up running towards this fence, and there was a train yard involved and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, as soon as I dipped, mad flashlights popped on the roof. So the cops were all around me on the roof already. They weren't even but it was such a big rooftop that they were so far from me that I had enough lead time, you know, and I was young, I was fast. I was outie. And I dipped out, you know, and I got away, you know.
Yes. What about you? So do you have a lot of old school flicks still, like photo albums?
I do not, unfortunately. I have some, you know, but I wish I held on to stuff, you know. I mean, Dessa took a lot of pictures. Dessa has a lot of pictures because luckily I gave Dessa a lot of my negatives to make copies of, and so I got to get them from him. I don't have them, you know. I wish I did though, you know, because there were some nice ones, man. Especially like the ones like at the end of the night we would take like fucking dumb shots of us hanging out. Those are the ones I kind of want the most, you know, because VE's not around anymore, you know. And you know what's funny? Like SN, just to bring up SN, like yo, that motherfucker would go, me, V, and SN would go do these rooftops and all these crazy spots, and like me and V would be like covered with dirt and paint and whatever you want to, like whatever we ran into, we would be like, you know, cut up our barbed wire, whatever it was. Yo, SN would come out with clean jeans on, a fucking white t-shirt, cuffed at the, you know, because he was a big dude. Yeah, he worked out. He had it cuffed sleeves on the fucking t-shirt, and like white fucking Adidas shell tops, right? And he would be spotless. Yo, like not a grime of dirt on him ever. Like, but he would be climbing the same rooftops, walking through the same muddy shit as us, the same crazy track spots. Like, whatever it was that we did, he was there, but he never got dirty. I don't know how. You know, like I don't get it. You know. Cheers to SN. It's not nose. That's what we used to call him. SN. As a crew joke.
Yo, so before we jump off or whatever, do you have any last words for the fans? Like, what are you up to now? Plug everything you're doing, you know, shit like that.
I mean, I still, you know, enjoy my nocturnal life, as I would like to say. Because I don't want to say anything that's going to incriminate myself. I already have I got a radar on my back because of some stuff, you know. But I'm all good. But yeah, I mean, I'm doing my artwork, you know. I'm doing my canvases and stuff like that, which I'm grateful for. People, you know, are receptive and they like it. I just started a big project on Myrtle and Wyckoff, painting I think it's a 9-story building by 60 feet wide. And it's just straight graffiti. It's no street art shit. It's just a GIZ piece with a giant GIZ throw up. You know, one of my brushstroke thingies. You know, because I don't know. I just I feel fortunate. I mean, I got a lot of different projects going on. I don't do anything other than make a living off of my art right now. So I'm grateful for that. Like I don't have a day job, and you know I'm truly grateful and I feel blessed for that. You know, because
Yeah, that's dope,
I
man.
never would have thought in my entire life that I would have been making money off of or living. You know, I'm not doing that great. You know, but like I'm not like balling it, but
exactly. But that's the fruition of the work that you put in and the creativity that you know, the time that you took to be so creative with everything that you did. So, you know, it paid off, and that's blessings. You know what I'm saying? And we salute you for everything that you've done for the graph culture. And you know, you're a legend. Your name is cemented, and you know, F.T.R. crew, MTA crew, everyone that y'all mentioned, all the fallen soldiers, rest in peace. We just wanted to show you love, and we thank you for sharing your story with us. You know what I'm saying? We salute everything you do, and we support you 100%. You heard? You know, me and you always been a stand-up brother, and you know, I know you since we were kids.
yeah,
You know, I wish
time.
nothing continued success on you, my brother. Straight like that.
I really, really, truly am grateful, and I appreciate that. You know, and I'm grateful for having me on here.
Thank you, Giz, bro. Mad love, man. I'm gonna holla at you, bro, because I want to get you on a canvas, you know, for the Graph Champs collection and shit. So I'll holla at you.
All right, sounds good.
Yo, and if you could, if you ever get in contact with Dessa, tell him to holla at me too. I'm trying to get him up here with Catch, you know.
Yeah, that would be a good show. That would be great to have. Because Dessa is like an encyclopedia. That motherfucker doesn't forget anything. Sometimes I'll forget, like, I wish I could just have him next to me all the time because he just never forgets anything, man. He's a fucking, like, encyclopedia, straight up. I swear to God, man. I'd be like, he'll be like, yo, you remember that? And I'm like, what? I don't remember none of that shit. Hey, you guys want to see something dope to finish it off?
Yeah, show me. Hell yeah, show me.
Wait, I don't know how to. All right, I guess I can't switch the camera. But here, check this out.
DJ Salute, bro. That's original DG right there. He took the fucking gate, bro. Dope.
Had to.
What was the location of the gate?
It was in Greenpoint.
Nice, bro. Wow.
Yeah, Dessa helped me get it.
Fire.
Dressed up as construction workers and just took it.
DG, yo, like I said, yo, thank you. That was Graph Champs episode 11. Giz, the whole F.T.R, Venna, / Germs, salute to all of y'all. Yo, in 2 weeks is the next show. Yo, Giz, salute. We love you. You know, stay tuned. Listen to the next shows we got lined up, bro. Queens, y'all represented hard, baby.
All right, brother. Thank you.
I won.
Yo, everybody, thanks. Peace.
Why do I always do that? All right. Yeah, baby, that was Giz, bro. That was Giz the legend. That was / the legend. Germs, Venna the legends. F.T.R family, baby. Thank you for joining Graph Champs episode 11. The next show, who do y'all want to see? Yo, I want to give a special shout out to A1s, bro. For real, bro. You thank you for helping me, bro. Make this shit happen. Salute, my brother. Who do y'all want to see? Who do y'all want to see next?
That was dope.
Yeah, that was a sick, bro. That was sick. I love watching the show back. Who y'all want to see? Who y'all want to see next? Well, regardless, it's gonna be some crazy legendary shit. Yo, that was fucking F.T.R.
Seen a GIZ interview.
For real. GIZ, a slash. Well, how you gonna get a slash interview of Venna? You know what I'm saying? GERMZ, GERMZ toured all around the world, bro. Yo, salute, Jazz, what it is, bro. Jelly, what it is, Jelly.
Watch people share this live.
Word, yo, share the live always, man. Yo, salute to everybody. This is Graph Champs. I'm your motherfucking host. SR MBK, the General, the motherfucking squirticle, vertical, squirticle. You know what I mean? Salute. I'm gonna see y'all next time. You heard? One.